There's nothing like that baller music to get us going. I couldn't agree more, Triffid. Absolutely. It is great to be with everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Saturday night stream. It is Saturday, April 5th, 2025, et cetera, at just about 7:55 p.m. Eastern. And it is my pleasure to welcome everybody to day 34 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peak, sponsored, as always, by Alligator Alley Entertainment. Our session tonight entitled Path of the Artificers. Before we go any further, a couple of quick reminders about ways to support the channel. If you have not done so already, please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube with !ArvTube and do subscribe to us over there. It's free for you to do that, but it really does help us out. Discord is !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Twitter !ArvTweets. Blue Sky !ArvSky. Website arvanelleron.com. Quick note, because it's of interest to people watching the stream tonight, that Hearthglow, which is the limited AP, the limited actual play podcast set in my Forbidden Library universe, the finale of that will be concluding at Sacred Heart University at the Shine Auditorium in this Friday, so less than a week away, this coming Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. It is free to attend that. It's free to park. It's free to come. So please do come and be a part of it. We're very excited for it, and it will star, of course, Carlos Hernandez, C.S.C. Cooney, Adam Petrosino, who is the Sacred Heart University student that helped set up this stuff at Sacred Heart. Very excited for that. And, of course, our very own Zach Clay, about which more in a moment. So you can check us out there, and you can find the audio versions of Hearthglow at the website arvanelleron.com. Also, don't forget to check out Gen GM's, a long-form video of Zach and myself with DM and GM tips just dropped. So you can check those out over on Gen GM's. Please sub to us over on the YouTube channel for that as well. And that's right. And Triffid will be there. That's true. That's a good point, actually. As if there weren't enough reason to come see it. The fact that Triffid is going to be there in person, in the flesh, right there, that's pretty awesome. So you're gonna have a chance to again, you can have a chance to meet Triffid face to face. You can be like, wow, all of the stars of the Arvanelleron channel coming out. So very excited for that. It'll be awesome to see you, Triffid. So all that stuff coming up. Again, arvanelleron.com for more details there. Arv Treon, actually Arv Shop first, is the merchandise area where you can get stuff, merchandise swag related to the channel and various campaigns, and also supports the channel. Arv Treon is the Patreon, which is really the financial backbone of the channel. Really does make a big difference. So please support us there with the Patreon. Would love to see any or all of you folks supporting it. Currently sitting at $87 a month, but I'm really trying to get this back into triple digits. It would really help us out financially, and you can get some awesome, unique stuff from the Patreon, as you can also get awesome, unique stuff from subscribing to the channel. So please consider doing that. Get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. And you can also get, of course, inspirations to help our players, since this is the first of many tabletop sessions going on in the month of April. So please do that. That would be lovely. Let's see. That's yes. And then, of course, on the publishing side, Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library, my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. My 5e Adventure and Sourcebook that is published by Alligator Alley Entertainment. Again, that's the universe that Hearthglow is set in. So, and by the way, pretty close to selling out. So you can get that. And you can also type in Greyshade for the Greyshade IP, Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts, available at that link, as is the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks. And you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, which I have again confirmed within the last couple of days, will be out at Gen Con. So it will be released at Gen Con in August. Super pumped up for that. I cannot wait for you all to see it. Brandon has done a wonderful job. Brandon O'Brien design and developing and designing it. Alligator Rally will be publishing that as well. So super excited for that. And as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. And send the message, we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Now, tonight, we've got Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks back here, which we're very excited about. On Tuesday, I will be back in the morning. Please note the earlier start time. 10:30 to 2, I will be playing Beowulf. Sorry, 10:30 to 2. 10:30 to 1:30, I will be playing Beowulf Age of Heroes with Tari Tunes. Very excited about that. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be over on GOG.com's Twitch channel playing By the Dice Roll, D&D with By the Dice Roll and Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So that's going to be very cool. Super excited for that, and you'll definitely want to check that. And then the Thursday after that will be more Expedition, but not Expeditions. As we continue with Expeditions Rome. So that's what we got going on. And with all that said, I am now going to unmute myself and apologize for anyone that I'm interrupting because I couldn't hear them. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I am going to, let me make sure that I have this captured properly. I do head over to reveal the crew. They are ready to go. They are prepared. And it is a great pleasure to actually have them here with us because it's been a couple months, y'all, that since I had you folks here. But we're back. We're here. We're ready. As we were talking about beforehand, not like anything really significant's going on in the world. I mean, I don't know what would be happening. But most important, we are here telling stories and playing games with each other with local community, which is the way I think in the end we get out of this is through local community work, building upwards. And in that spirit, it is great to see these lovely folks here. I will begin with the person on the top left of your screen, and that, of course, is Rhiannon. Rhiannon, good to see you. How is, relative to the state of the world, how are you doing with everything? How's things going with you, and who are you playing today?
Well, I should follow up. A few months back, I talked about going to Meow Wolf in Denver, and I have, and
right.
It was amazing and very interesting. I will say for neurospicy people out there that it is a lot of stimulation, but I liked it. It was fun. And I'm playing Sataria Verban, half-elf healer. It's a new thing for me, doing a healer, so...
Very cool. Yes, and an important thing for this group. Not that, healing is a problem ever, but always a pleasure to have Rhiannon here, and also a pleasure to have back with us for the moment, assuming that tornadoes do not bear down upon our house again, and that's Toya Kristen Finley. It's good to see you, Toya. I hope that you are, as best you can, hanging in with continual weather threats. Are you okay in between twisters, and who are you playing tonight?
Yes, and by the way... Got to get used to doing that.
Okay. Wait, was it what I missed it?
Can you provide context?
Yeah.
It's the celebration that the Miami Hurricanes did. It's the Cam Ward celebration because it's Cam Ward season, baby.
This is in relation to where the Titans are going to be drafting, while my team, the Steelers, is going to be dealing with 700-year-old Aaron Rodgers. That's how that works.
What you should do, and they probably won't, is trade up for Shador. They're probably not going to do that, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, yes, we have a weather front that has been sitting on about 5 or 6 states since Tuesday. And I spent late Wednesday and early Thursday morning in the basement. So if you see me glancing over at my television, it's because I'm looking for tornado warnings and seeing if I need to go run down to the basement. There's been a little bit of thunder already, but I think the major event has passed through for the day. I've already spent some time today in my basement, and I hope not to do any more.
If something like that comes up, if you could try to just sort of sync it up to a role play event, like, and it could be like, Knowles is swept, like that kind of thing. I'm sure that's exactly what'll be on your mind.
And that is who I'm playing today, because you asked me, who are you playing?
Yes.
Knowles. Yes, Nalik, also known as Knowles Darkly, who is a human bard.
Who's a human bard. Very excited to see what Knowles gets up to today. Also excited, of course. Pleasure to have Toya with us as always. Also a pleasure to have LaShawn M. Wanig with us. LaShawn, I hope you are doing okay and are not dealing with any immediate weather events that could be really problematic. How are you doing? How's life with you and so on? And who are you playing tonight?
Things are actually been well. Things have been pretty quiet up here in Wisconsin.
By the way, good work.
Weather-wise.
Good work, by the way. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep. Thank God.
We were a little worried, but yeah.
Wasn't even that close in the end. So good work.
No.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people are pissed up here.
Yeah.
A
I've
lot
heard
of
that in a
people.
few spots. You'd be surprised.
So yay. So yeah, that happened, and now I can actually start watching TV again without having horrible political ads showing on my screen.
Nice.
So I will be playing. My name is Raven. Yeah, Raven Galinar. Who is she is a Lorendi, which is considered a more intense version of an Eldori race in the Esper Genesis side of things.
Yep.
And she's an adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Probably an adapt. Yeah. So she's an adapt.
Yep. Very excited for that. I like that it's a more intense. It's like it's sort of a a volume knob up to 11 version of an Eldora. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
And Raven, of course, has a somewhat mysterious past that we're gradually learning about too. So very excited for more from Raven. Always a pleasure to have LaShawn with us. And last but certainly not least, someone who I'm going to see in person shortly, but has something pretty important going on before that chat, which now the cat is out of the bag and we can officially discuss it. So Zach, as I said to these folks in the green room, I don't think you have anything going on tabletop play-wise involving something known as Critical Frole, right? I don't think you're involved with them in any way. What's going on with you over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and who are you playing tonight?
Mm-hmm. Well, over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, I'll be out in Connecticut visiting with you and doing all sorts of things, namely the finale of our Hearthglow podcast, which has been a D&D actual play that we've been doing of Greg's module, which now, is this still Forbidden Library?
Still Forbidden Library. It's
okay,
this is in between part 2 and part 3. And you are going to be doing part 3, which was originally designed for live play at this thing. Yes. Yeah. So we're going to be performing that live at the Shine Auditorium at Sacred Heart University. Yep.
Am I getting all these details correct?
You got it all right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know anything about that geography of that side of the country, but I've got that down. So we're going to be there, and we're going to be playing D&D, and then probably all sorts of other things. And then also, namely, rhyming with Critical Role is that I GM'd a one-shot for Critical Role, which is this well-known tabletop actual play show. Many people say it was sort of the start of the actual play genre.
Yeah,
back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that will be coming out on April 15th. I don't know exactly what time, or if it will be a live premiere, or if it's just going to be uploaded. But that is coming out on tax day. So just remember, when your taxes are due, go watch Zach running some D&D for Liam O'Brien and Ashley Johnson and the guys from Tales from the Stinky Dragon, which is a D&D podcast. So yeah, I did that. That was a lot of fun, and can't wait for people to see it. But otherwise, I'm here tonight to continue my tenure as a loyal Arvin Elleron actual play cast member. And this time, I am Dr. Jaraxis, Dentist Cybermancer. And let's do it. Ready to talk to some weird, creepy ghost people.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to fire up a little bit of music. And let's see where we're at. Let's go with Willow and Light, I think, for the moment. Okay, great. Cool. So In our last session, which was a couple of months ago, chat, but we're now back on the wagon. We're all good. But a couple of months ago, the crew had just met with the council of Celis, basically the council after they had defeated the evil Caridin Fizelkis, and discovered that Fizelkis may not be the only Caridin who's a problem, that there are a bunch of others who are in a nearby plane that have been trying to break into this plane for a while, and that in some way this may all be connected to the crash of a ship, which a certain individual, whose name was, hold on, I'm moving over to this map for a second, Dumig Rieger, yes, want to make sure I had that right, who had been there when the ship originally had crashed, identified as a large ship called the Centurion. Now, this planet was basically driven by more standard, fantastic, and magic-oriented sorts of plays until this ship crashed and everything changed. What it did was create this series of technological advancements using what was known as Magitech and this energy source, which Jaraxxus and probably Raven now has reason to believe is almost certainly something related to Sorium, or was powered by Sorium, which is a fundamentally important thing of the Espergenesis universe in terms of an energy source. That sent out a beacon, which eventually summoned Jaraxxus here, and then some kind of strange cataclysmic experience meant that the planet, which had been using Magitech, basically a lot of things were destroyed in the resulting magical/technological explosion, with the result that some races and cultures upon Thalos, the planet where we are very much suspicious of Magitech, and in fact the Twilight Elves, who live in Celis, this place I was just talking about, are among that group, not fans of Magitech, and others still continue to study it and think of it as part of their sort of everyday process. But it's become much more controversial, let's put it that way, than in the old days. It's sort of like Gen AI, if Gen AI had any redeeming qualities at all. So just letting you all know. Subscribe to our newsletter. No, it's on the brain at the moment. We have on my university, I'm on an AI ethics committee that is in the process of drafting new rules to deal with this, and I'm very pleased to say that we are going to have rules that are dictating the major ethical concerns and ecological concerns of Gen AI before all of the, oh, look at the cool stuff it can do. This is specifically just that report. Sorry, that has nothing at all to do with the game, but like I said, I've been thinking about it. My apologies. Back to what we were talking about. So the crew then was sent by the council, which acknowledged that based upon what had happened to them, the main elder of the Primarch down here had been basically corrupted and taken over almost by the mind of Fizelkis, and that indicates that there are major threats to the society, since the reason that Nulls is down here is because the Primarch basically up there seems to have been taken over by this strange cult. And so these things all seem to be coming together. There are problems that exist. And so the council has asked the party to come to the crashed wreckage known as the Centurion and to try to gather information from them, especially because now there are two people with them, Raven and Dr. Jaraxxus, who may know something about the technological aspects of this ship, which would not previously have been available to the people on this planet. The party agreed. They were given a number of magical items, lest it be said that I am too stingy with magical items. We gave some out, all right? And the party then set on its way through what is known as the Path of the Artificers. Dumig Rieger gave them the basic details about how to get there, basically rough instructions. He is, of course, working off of a memory that is several hundred years old at this point, and so some details may be a little fuzzy. But the party managed to make its way all the way to this cavern, where when they walked into the center of the cavern, there were these this strange fog that basically was rolling through this 60-foot wide cavern. And as the party stepped down into and began to cross over it, three sort of glowing lights appeared, sort of these glowing orbs hovering, and spoke in common, and said, don't remember if I used my echo machine for this, well, we have been joined, my friends, by those who cross our realm, And every time you get that, the other two behind the one that is speaking, I mean, it's just a globe of light, is repeating what the globe says. And finally they say, "Why have you come here? What is your business in this place?" Place. And that's where I will hand things back over to the party. You are facing these glowing lights in the fog that is rolling around you. What would you like to do?
Jaraxxus looks at the others, then looks at the three. They're just floating wisps of light. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
There's three of them?
There are three of them, and they're kind of just sort of hovering in place, about the same size. And
what
roughly,
color are they?
They're kind of a yellowish white.
Okay. Hello. We are trying to get to a ship. What was DM the name of this ship
The
again?
Centurion.
Yeah. Knowing that now, though, I'm not sure Jaraxxus would even mention, because how would they know about this ship? So he says, "We're just passing through. Don't mind us. Who are you?"
And they pause and they say, "It has been a long time, since anyone has passed this way. Why would you wish to travel through these caverns? They are dangerous. And you notice that as as they speak, two of them, like on the edges, the one in the middle is the one talking the most, and the ones on the side sort of are slowly shifting to your left and right. I don't want to suggest that they're flanking you. That's maybe a little bit. It's just more that they're like, there's this weird three-dimensional effect where you feel like you're getting this in stereo, basically, is what I'm saying.
Well, we believe there's a threat to our planet, and we might be able to get some answers were we to get to the other side of this cavern.
The planet is always under threat. Always. We have come here because the danger seemed to be less than above. But now it appears that is not true. There are so many of you coming down now. No.
So many? Who else has been this way?
Well, there is a metal demon that is roaming the caverns beyond from which we came. We came here because we do not know what it is, and it frightens us.
Now, you said you came down here because of the dangers. What were you avoiding?
Oh, a long time ago, there was an explosion. And we came here. People were so strange, and creatures. We came to avoid what they had turned into. And we lived here for many years, and it was, well, quiet, but hospitable, until now. Now there are noises, and gears, and metal, and angry voices.
You know that threat that you were originally running from? It might be the one that has suddenly resurfaced, the one we are attempting to take down.
It is very powerful, and loud. It shakes our world. You can see them, by the way, almost kind of like, it's hard to describe except to say they almost seem to be slightly shrinking at the discussion of these powerful things. Like, as it's sort of weird to imagine a globe of light reflecting an emotional state, but if you could read orb language, it would seem that they're sort of reflecting like that, almost shimmering as if they were shivering a bit.
These creatures, did you understand their language at all?
Oh, yes. They spoke in the language we speak to you. It was a language that was commonly used above, but sometimes they also spoke in a form of Elvish, a language that used to be called, I think you called it Sylvan? Sylvan?
Sylvan.
I'm not from here. I wouldn't know.
Soteria, have you ever heard of Sylvan?
Yeah. Which you studied it at the academy?
I would ask you the same question. Probably. I mean, like Sylvan, assuming, yeah, because there's a lot of magical research that would have been done through the elves and things like that. So probably, yeah.
Okay.
Like a formal, I'm sorry, one thing, but like probably like a more formal version, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
the Queen's English type.
Oh, guess what? Nals actually speaks Sylvan. Never mind.
Well, there you go.
I made sure. I was like, wait a minute. Let me make sure that's not one of the languages that Nals knows.
That's funny.
All right.
So you're like
I got
Sylvan?
this.
Oh,
Oh,
Sylvan.
Sylvan.
I speak that. Yeah.
Oh, you
yes,
mean this
yes,
geeky.
Sylvan, yes. Oh, you mentioned they spoke Sylvan.
And they just
Do
hover.
Do you remember any of the phrases they used?
Oh, we were at that point running away. The noise was so loud we could barely hear anything by then. There was something about light.
And did any of them have this metal like the creature in the caverns?
They wore a mask.
And how many of them were there?
Oh, many. We did not stop to see, but there were many of them, far more than us. In another world or another place, we could have led some of them astray. We're very good at that. We can confuse people if we wish, but that many of them, that would have been very difficult.
You said you can confuse people if you wish?
Small numbers, yes. We thought about doing it to you, but we were curious, and you seemed not as loud.
And I suppose we can trust you now since we have mutual interest getting rid of this danger and this metal thing that has come into your home.
You mean you're going to face them? Face them. We thought that you would turn and run. That is what we would do.
Well, let's say you've got these confusion problems, and maybe you could use them on this creature as well and help us take it down.
This thing is far too big, and it does not have essence. It is made of gears and clockwork and metal. It does not breathe or think or feel.
Well, I'm sure it will be fine as long as we skirt around it.
I turn to the others, trying to remember what specific directions we were given. Are we kind of like following a general map?
Yes.
Or we're not lost right now.
You're
are
not
we?
lost. No, you're following
Okay.
the general. It's kind of vague on the details because of how long since Doomig's actually made this journey. But
Right.
yes, you're following in the rough direction.
Is there some sort of landmark or something that we would think to ask them about that Doomig would have pointed out on this path? Like, travel in these caves until you reach the big waterfall. And once you're at the big waterfall.
Yeah, presumably the one thing that he would have suggested, almost certainly, is that the ultimate sort of place that you're looking for is this massive cavern, which he referred to as Tithrin Tur. It is an immense cavern that serves as a crossroads, basically between the northern and southern mountains. And somewhere hidden in that cavern is the Great Lift. And that's the one that supposedly leads up to where the ship is. But he does not remember where exactly the Great Lift is. He said something about it might have been hidden, but he doesn't remember for sure. But it's definitely in this enormous cavern that you're ultimately headed towards. This is literally beneath the barrier peaks at this point.
Right. Okay. So in that case, Draxus will say to the wisps of light, do either of these locations seem familiar to you? And he'll hold out his hand, and a little projection will play of Doomig describing Tithrin Tor and the Great Lift.
Yeah.
See if they recognize.
There's a pause, and then the one says, "We have seen this cavern. It is where we used to live before the metal demon arrived. And the metal demon, it was digging into the rocks. It was looking like it was looking for something. Maybe, I don't know what, but that would be the thing that you would find. You'll certainly hear it before you see it. It is very loud.
Do you know the way to Tithrin Tor? Could you guide us, perhaps?
Only as far as you could go into the next place. We dare not go any closer than this cavern. We fled here. We wish we could return, but we are not made for conflict. More direction.
I'll just have a couple of more questions. Where are you from originally?
We lived in a great swamp above. It was an area many hundreds of miles, and there were many strange and beautiful creatures that lived there. Sometimes people would wander into our swamp, and we would bring them places. It was fun.
And you said this monster has gears. How do you know? Are they exposed?
Yes, you can see some of them, and you can hear them. They make this clicking, clacking sound. It's very hard on the hearing. The lights seem almost to shrink slightly while they're describing this.
Go ahead.
Raven is going to, not exactly son. She's going to come up next to Dr. Draxus and murmur, "Do you think this being may be an android or some sort of robot from our world?"
I didn't consider it being from where we're from.
Do they have androids or robots on this world?
I turn and ask the two natives of this world, who are not us, whether or not, you run into any androids?
I can tell Sataria that Sataria would not have, but Nulls, actually you and Jaraxus both, but especially Nulls, because of being from this place, would remember. Wait, no, you didn't see that, so I take that back. Jaraxus, you would remember having seen these creatures in
That were chasing the wizard guy?
Yes, that's exactly right, Darmuth. And of course, you were accompanied by a mechanically altered, dire wolf.
We do have Magitech.
Yeah, that's true.
As always, Gamork is growling softly somewhere.
That's right. I will ask the wisps.
Does this metal demon walk on 2 legs or 4?
And the three all sort of glow as they are talking to each other, and then they say, the one says, "It walks on 3 legs. It uses one of them, it balances, and then uses one to pick and dig at stone and rock. And there are other things that come from it, these hooks and and blades and axes. It is very scary.
Wait, did you say that it picks and digs at stone and rock?
Yes.
So, are you sure it's not like a mining tool down in this cavern?
We have seen many that have tried to mine before, but not with a machine like this. It is enormous. It could probably cut through stone faster even than dwarves.
And, has it ever tried to harm you?
If it saw us, but there were other things in the way, things that we know, creatures that used to live, were animals down here that used to live on the cliff formations. This thing tore it apart. Did not care what it killed. It was just digging. And there were small things by its legs, that were pointing and yelling in strange language we did not know. No.
Small things, like creatures.
Yes, with masks.
Oh, okay. The ones that spoke Sylvish. Sylvan?
Yes.
Sylvan.
Yes, but not to the machine. We did not recognize what it spoke to the machine. Machine.
Interesting.
And what did the masks look like?
And there's a pause, and then it says, they were gold, and metal, and with slits for eyes.
And you did mention that part of the reason you left Tithrin Tor is because they are there. Is that right?
Yes. They could have hurt us and others of our friends. For some, when they come into this room, we distract and lead them away so they do not get hurt. But for you seemed so different. We wanted to see who you might be.
And, what do you find different about us?
You travel together. You who are from our world. You, and they nod to Sataria, who are from our world. And you, and several of them, 2 of them float over to Raven, and then 2 of them float over to you, Jaraxxus. You are not from our planet. We have never seen anything like you. You. Either of you. And yet you are all together. Brought together, perhaps. That is the way that fate works.
I believe that would be a very good read on fate in this case.
Well, although I may not be from your planet, I am Dr. Jaraxxus. I'm well known across the Silrain Arc. Any questions or inquiries you have about the Silrain Arc or facets such as astrophysics or anything xenobiology, so on and so forth, I am your dentist.
The orbs kind of like glow a bit and are silent, just floating.
Yes, many people are in awe the first time they meet me. Well, looks like we have some strange, small people that speak Sylvan and a metal demon to go meet. Sounds fun.
Be careful. If things get too difficult, simply run back here, and we will, well, we cannot protect you, but we will lead you back the way you came. Then you can escape and avoid the demon. And they kind of float up in the air a bit, And then they say, "Have safe travels. Pay no attention to strange noises or strange sights, because they can be treacherous." And eventually the orbs just kind of dissipate into the fog. And by the way, on the other end of them, you can see kind of a steep, small, not a long, but a steep path that is coming out of the fog up into a passageway.
Well, that was by far the friendliest set of lights I've ever met. I meant to ask their names, but I forgot. Well, we have a obstacle in our way, but certainly no problem for us.
I'm
Better
not
to be forewarned, I suppose.
I'm not sure it's alive, which might be a good thing. This metal demon.
I think your idea of it being a tool is probably the right idea.
The
Especially
question,
with these little creatures around directing it.
the question is whose tool, and are they actually still directing it, or has it gone amok?
You speak this language.
I do speak Sylvan, yes.
Great. Then maybe, we always at least start out friendly. So I suppose we can leave that to you.
And if we do encounter this thing, we're going to need to either dismantle it or shut it off quickly.
I should be able to do that. I think, at least between Raven and myself. Raven, I'm not sure how familiar you are with mechanics and so on.
In my former line of work, I did not work with mechanics such as this. So I don't know how much help I can be at this point, but...
What did you do before?
I prefer not to say.
Hmm.
It's all water at the bridge anyway.
Ah, so you were in construction. Only joking. We are in a creepy cold cave, after all. Have to find something to enjoy. Well, and Jaraxxus will start walking.
Okay. Yeah, the area that I mentioned is pretty, like, it's steep, and there are some loose rocks, but it doesn't really even require a check. It's a fairly easy climb. But one thing that I want to note is that as you, assuming you all do this, as you are climbing, you may notice that it is, just give me a second while I add one bit of music. I'm going to switch over music here. That it cuts down over time. The temperature sort of rises a little bit again as you exit the cavern. It was cold. As you come out of it, it goes up a little bit, although it is still a little bit cold, and obviously much colder than when you were up top or even when you were in Celis. But that said, you were able to make your way up to the next sort of part of the passageway and continue along. Probably about, I would say, another hour-ish or so. You had been about 2 hours in when you encountered the three lights. About another hour or so in, as you've been going through the tunnel, which, again, following Doomig's directions, which, although vague, are much more helpful than if you hadn't had those. You find yourself in a tunnel which is somewhat narrower than the ones you've been to this point. It's not exactly single file, but it's fairly close. You could probably go side by side, but you'd be a little bit sort of close quarters. And as you're walking along, you hear a lot of like like cracking and creaking, and the sound of sort of cracking above you and below. And Raven, a couple of times, a little stone basically just falls right near your head. Sataria, you have one that like scatters, like falls in front of you and then scatters under your feet. Nalls, you notice that the ground underneath you is uneven as well. So this does not feel like the most stable place that you've ever been to. And as you go along, more and more and more of that sound seems to be happening. Sounds and movement and kind of like things shifting a bit and rocks starting to rain down, little rocks and pebbles and things like that.
Do we hear anything like gears grinding together?
How about a perception check for me, please?
Should we all make one?
You could all do that, sure.
Okay. Perception.
Okay. All right, let's see. I note is it 12, Sataria? Okay, and then a 20 for Nalls, a 16 for Jiraxis, and we'll see what Raven comes up here with here in a sec. Okay, 15, and then do you have any pluses to that?
+1 is 16.
16, okay. So I would say Jiraxis, Sataria maybe are a little bit too concentrated on the things rattling around you. But Nalls and Jiraxis and Raven, you don't hear any sound yet of machinery or anything like that, but you do hear a kind of creaking and cracking, and you can hear what sounds faintly like a rumbling in the immediate area type of rumbling, which seems to be getting louder. Not machine-based. It sounds naturally occurring, but it seems to be coming your way. You can feel it starting to kind of rattle your, sort of shake your feet underneath you a little bit.
Something is getting very close, but I don't think it's our metal demon friend.
Maybe it is. Let's just keep going.
Are you going the same speed? Are you picking up the pace, or what are you doing as far as speed? Ooh, that was perfect. Good job, audio. It just added what I was looking for.
Sound.
Let's go.
Yeah. Maybe the same speed, or actually, I think vaguely in D&D's travel terms, you can either do a normal pace, a fast pace, but if you do a fast pace, your perception's lowered, or you could do a slow pace where your perception and your stealth is heightened, but you're going slow.
That's right.
Maybe we should do a slow pace so that we're not caught off guard by stuff, and that we're, if there is like stuff collapsing around us, maybe it serves us better to go slow and steady, but rather than rushing into stuff. So Jiraxis suggests maybe slowing down a bit, actually. But
I agree. We should probably go more slowly just in case.
okay.
All right. So you
Which
do
direction is this thing coming in?
from behind you.
From behind. Okay.
Oh,
And I mean, there's rumbling. It's echoey, so it's not like something is coming behind the passage. But the noise sounds more behind you than in front of you. As you go slowly, the noise gets louder, and the sort of sense of the ground beneath your feet gets more uncertain. And then, Nalls, I need you to make a perception check for me, please. Outstanding. Let's go. More smashing sounds. Okay.
that's great.
I think I see a +8. I don't have it captured properly. Is
Yeah,
it
you're very perceptive.
it is 16?
16.
Okay. That's why I don't. Hold on. Let me just adjust that so that chat can see this too. That's why, because it's right. There's the 16. Okay. I was like, why are we not seeing this thing? I want to see it. Okay. Great. So, yes. You look up because there's a rumbling sound, and then you look up, Knowles, and you were able to step out of the way just before a fairly good-sized. God, I should know this. Stalactite's the one that hangs. Stalagmite's the bottom one, I think.
Yeah, stalagmites might reach the top.
Right, but stalactite is literally hanging from, right? Okay. So it's a stalactite that falls, and you happen to step out of the way before, pretty good size one. And now the rumbling is pronounced, and all of you can feel the rumbling coming. And from behind you, like the stalactites are starting to rain down behind you.
Perhaps we should move a little bit faster.
Is the tunnel full on collapsing, or is it just causing parts
not
of this?
sure, but it sure feels like it's not in great shape.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we need to move.
There's no side paths, is there?
Not right now. There are little like I guess cul-de-sacs, I guess you might call them, except that you're a little worried that you get like trapped in there. Like they're not, they're not really passageways that lead off. So yeah.
Okay. Maybe we do go faster now.
Yeah. Good time for fast.
You pick it up. Pick up the pace. I would like, let's see, I'm going to start with Raven. Raven, as you are running along, and you hear the crashing, you sort of look over your shoulder and you can see good-sized stalactites now are landing on the ground and like, hitting the ground and, exploding into little shards of rock and so on. So much so that you are almost unaware, but you are not unaware, when you look in front of you and see that the ground in front of you is caving in. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh. Okay. Second. Experiencing. Oh, geez. All right. Is that also D20?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez, 7.
7 plus what in your dex is probably like
0.
Really? Well, I suppose, yeah, because an adapt. Okay. 7 plus 0. Well, okay. So you stumble forward into this rapidly widening pit, and you kind of roll to the ground painfully. A second before you look up to see another stalactite falling on top of you.
I cast Aegis barrier.
Okay. That could be useful. Tell me what Aegis barrier does as I look it up.
It's a cantrip. I create a kinetic barrier around myself to impair the impact from physical attacks.
Absolutely. Yep. Outstanding
I don't know
work.
if it will help.
Oh, no.
This case,
Amazing.
It would help. Yes, that's good stuff. You would have taken 21 points of bludgeoning damage, but because of the kinetic thing, you're going to take only half of that. So you take 10 as a lot of this stuff deflects, which I think, and I should have asked about this before, Raven. I had you at 28 out of 28 hit points to begin with. Is that right? Is that what you had for yourself too?
Yes.
Okay, so you're sitting now at 18 out of 28. And so as you're all looking down at Raven, who's sort of at the, I don't know, maybe moaning at the bottom of the pit, you'd have to tell us, Raven. And you're looking down there, Jaraxis, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw because you hear things smashing down too.
Oh, great. That sounds fun. Sure, I'd love to do that. Dexterity save, you said?
Yes.
Okay. 18.
Okay. Yeah. You dodge out of the way just before smash. This thing hits the ground and then sort of lets little bits of rock fall onto a already troubled raven, no doubt. So Sataria Nulls, nothing has fallen on you yet, but it looks like this tunnel is collapsing, if you had to guess.
We're still running. aren't
Well,
we?
you were, but I mean, Raven fell into a pit. I mean, so
We have to get her out of there.
Yeah.
I have. Wait a minute. I have a ladder. I believe.
Just a whole
I'm serious.
ladder.
I have. Well, let me make sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a transformer ladder.
Yeah, I do. I have a ladder. I have a 10-foot ladder. Is that long enough?
Yes, actually, 10 foot would be fine. Where were you carrying this 10-foot ladder this whole time? It's like one of those trucks on the highway with a ladder
No,
over
look,
your head, right?
It's
You're like,
video
just-
game logic. You know, it's
if
in
it's
my
a rope
inventory.
ladder, that's fine. Like
It's in my inventory. It says I have it. Therefore, we do not worry about.
it's an extendo
actual-
ladder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
I bought it from that place before we came.
that's
It's a
true.
piece
Yes,
of adventuring equipment.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yes, I like that. So I would say yes, it's a battered sort of extendable ladder then, I think is
Wow.
what they sold you. So yes, it can, and you can put it down. Raven, the ladder is now at the bottom. The passageway is shaking though fairly violently at this point.
Okay, well, yeah, I basically limp over to the ladder and start climbing up.
Okay. Yep, you're able to get up without too much difficulty, at which point, Nalls, I assume you're
I take
closing
my
this
ladder
thing
back.
and running.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As you are all running down, Sataria, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw from me because one of the stalactites that is on the left side of you literally is hit by something and the top part is crumbling over on top of you.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do awesomely to avoid this? Like, what does that look like?
Let's see. So it's coming from the side.
Yes, from your left-hand side as you run.
Well, I suppose like I'm imagining some kind of like bullet time, like where she's sort of like running like this. You know, you gotta have the arm out, and then she like snaps back to.
Very impressive. It's very Flash,
Yeah.
Superman fights. Yes. So, yeah, you're just able to avoid it, which is good. And all of you, I would say, can see there's an area ahead where as the thing is like that seems to be much more stable, like a sort of kind of another passageway that's not like this. So as you're zipping towards it, Nalls, just as everyone's coming through, your extendable ladder trips you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making that up. But no, but you, because you were sort of in the back and then had to take the ladder back and then we're running, the floor begins to cave in beneath you as you're heading towards the stable area the rest of your compatriots have made. So I need you to make a dex saving throw for me as well, please. Wow. No problem. I mean, listen, if Raven had eaten her Wheaties, this wouldn't be an issue. Everyone else had no problem. No, you...
Raven's still
Amazing.
getting used to this world.
Yeah,
okay?
like, what the hell is this? No, I know. But Nalls, you leap forward just as... And as you all sort of look back, the entire, like, passageway behind you has essentially caved in. It's just rubble. And above you, you can see that you're literally in clearly a different section because these things are, have the stalactites and so on. And perhaps more important, they seem to be shored up by what look like metal pillars. Not a lot of them, but there are a couple of what are quite obviously not stone, but metal pillars that are
And
holding
this
up
place-
this area.
This is more stable now.
Yes.
So do we have? So would it be safe to investigate the pillars?
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem like this is going to collapse. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, even though it does seem stable, I was going to ask about because I have the ring of jumping, and it says that's just the jump spell, which can be other people, or because it's in the ring, it can only be on me?
It would have to be on you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you are under the permanent effect of a jump spell.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
could Soteria give it to somebody else for a second?
Oh, sure.
to put it on.
Sure, but it's going to be
Whatever.
dangerous though if you want to try to toss it down to the next person after using it. Just be aware that like rings can get lost. That's all. But
Oh,
yes,
okay.
relative to that, sure.
Famously.
I mean, yeah. Just
Unless
saying.
you put the ring around a rope and hand
Yeah.
it down that way.
Or entrust a grimy halfling with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That never goes wrong.
Gollum, not Frodo.
Yeah,
Frodo's not.
exactly. Yeah, you hear my presence. So.
Before, I know Malik was just about to investigate the pillars. Did we get this sensation? My mental image right now is that something was tunneling somewhere around us, causing these stalagmites to collapse.
Could have been,
or
although you
tights,
didn't
I mean.
see anything specifically, but yes.
Right. Do we get the sensation when you say now it's safe? Does that mean like, is this, I don't know, in my head I'm picturing something is tunneling around us and whatever that thing is has passed. Is that true?
Yes, or it could just be that this whole area is unstable, and once it got to the area that was reinforced, the instability halted. You know, because this area is
Okay.
reinforced in a way the last area was definitely not.
I see. So as we look back at the previous areas, are there still, do we get the sense that the shaking and rumbling is still happening, but we're just in a safe place, or has the shaking and rumbling stopped?
Shaking and rumbling seems to have stopped, but you think the shaking and rumbling was like the tunnel collapsing. You know what I mean? So like,
Okay.
like it stopped because there's nothing left to shake.
Nothing.
Essentially.
Okay. So we
you know,
can't go back. way.
Not this way. I mean, there are many passageways that lead around and through, but not this way.
Got it.
And I
Okay.
should mention that as you're sort of looking around, the tunnel that you're in now opens into maybe 10, 15 feet ahead of you what looks like a circular cavern. Not an enormous cavern, so this isn't obviously the big cavern that you were looking for, but it's a circular cavern. And how I should have asked this before. How were we having you all see? I don't remember how we had light down in this area. I know
a
we
good
arranged it
question.
somewhere. I just didn't remember how.
I have dark vision, but I'd imagine that we have a source of light for each other. Can anyone cast, like, can our D&D friends cast light or dancing lights or something?
I would think
you
so.
guys have that?
Sacred flame. That
And
Temporary-
that's like
I-
a
I also-
creature.
Yeah.
I also have, I can see different shades of light. So,
Okay.
Hmm.
I have a lamp.
Oh, I have a flashlight, apparently. Just
Either of those would
literal
work. Be aware if you
Esper
use the
Genesis
light of the
flashlight.
flashlight, it would confuse or obscure anyone who's using the equivalent of dark vision, which is what a little bit I think the Esper Genesis version is what it sounds like you have, Raven.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you use
it
light,
makes our
obscu-
vision worse?
Well, not that it's worse. It's just that you don't get the benefits of the dark vision. So that's why
okay.
usually it's one of those things that like then you can see through normal light, like anybody can. You know, like you're
Okay.
not affected by regular light. It's just that dark vision that allows you to see. You know, dim light is regular, whatever. Like that goes away when regular light is being used to illuminate an area.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
fine if
maybe-
you're using a lamp or a flashlight or both of them. That's fine. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure there's some of it. So then if you just take a few steps forward into just right at the edge of the cavern, you can see that there are these dark marks that are staining sections of the rough-hewn walls. And on the western wall are a half dozen metal spikes and hooks that are embedded in various parts of the west wall. You can see them glinting in the light. And to the north, basically on the opposite side from where you're standing, there are a set of worn stone ramps that are connecting upwards toward an outcropping above. And they're kind of switchback, right? So it's path up, path up, path up, basically to get to the tunnel that exits on the other side. But those are definitely, and you could have to go closer if you wanted to look at them, but they're definitely metal spikes and hooks, not naturally occurring. Also high proxima.
I was taking notes, so I was letting someone else go first. I'm usually the one that goes first.
Yeah, I'm just strategizing in my head, but not coming up with anything at the moment.
Ramps sound easier.
I mean, I'm curious. You mentioned metal spikes and hooks. I'm not going to not go look at the metal spikes and hooks.
Right, you got to look at the metal spice and hooks.
Okay.
Okay, so
Draxus is like, I'm going to go look at those metal spikes and hooks.
Okay, so you're going to go to the west to look at that. Sataria, Nulls, and Raven are going to look at the ramps on the north side. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk to Draxus first and then the folks in the north. On the west side, Draxus, you can see that these are hooks and spikes that it looks like could be pried loose, maybe. They're definitely in the wall as if they were, because you can see those dark marks that I mentioned. These spikes kind of lead up to the dark marks. If you want to like climb it yourself, you could, but otherwise it looks like you could probably pry free some of these things if you wanted to use them as like climbing pitons, things to basically lock yourself in place. Other than that, though, nothing special about them. They do look worn, which means they've seen a fair bit of use, if you had to guess. So there's that. The folks on the northern side notice that the ramps that are going up, the switchbacks, there are several gaps in the ramp. So you would have to, at several spots, jump the gap.
And how big of a gap is that?
Well, I mean, look, if you've been keeping up with your regular Olympic training, I imagine that they're certainly clearable. You don't have to be an Olympic level athlete. It's not just a little slight hop right over a step or something. It's good size jump.
Something a dire wolf could easily do.
Yes, you think Gamork would have very little difficulty with this. Operation Tony Hawk, yeah. No, you think that he'd be able to clear it.
If anybody's worried, we can pass the ring around on a rope or whatever. But Zetaria is obviously not worried. She has that, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does anybody actually have a rope to do that?
I might.
I'm looking through my stuff too.
A while ago, myself and Titus, back in the day, bought explorers packs, which include rope, 50 feet of rope, which I can see.
Okay,
But,
I do not have rope, actually.
Okay.
So
I don't have rope.
So do we want to do that? Use the rope to pass the ring around?
Cool.
Okay, so Satari, are you making the jump up first then to try to get up since you have the ring on? Or okay, yeah, you are able to jump with no difficulty whatsoever, basically across each section. And when you get to the top, as I said, it was kind of a switchback. So when you get to the top, you could then lower the ring or rope or whatever down to your companions if you wish. As you're doing that, there is now very definitively and this is definitely coming from somewhere outside the chamber. And as this happens, you can hear there's a rumbling sound. It's not right on top of you, and you can't tell where it is exactly, except it's not in the middle of this cavern. It's outside of it somewhere. But it definitely is definitive, and it runs for about maybe 10, 15 seconds and then stops.
Great.
All right, let's go.
I had one before Jiraxis returns to join the others.
Oh, yes.
The hooks and spikes that I was looking at, you said they could be used for climbing. Is Jiraxis's conclusion that that's what the original purpose of these were? Like, if he looks at the wall where the hooks and spikes are, he's like, obviously people were rock climbing here, or were...
They must have been using it to climb the wall, but you're not sure why that wall, right? Because the ramps are the northern side, and you are standing on the western wall. You're not sure what it's leading to, except that there are dark marks like at the topmost piton, which is maybe, I don't know, 15 feet above you or 20 feet above you.
Dark marks.
Mm-hmm.
Do they resemble like a scratch in the wall, or are they bigger than that? Or...
Maybe a little bit bigger than that. You can't quite tell, but it looks like it might be where some rock was possibly cut out or mined out here, possibly.
Okay. In the time that they took to approach the ramps and make their game plan, could Jaraxxus have maybe attempted to scale just to look at that dark mark thing?
Sure. I would say, let me have you make an athletics check, please.
Great. Will using my rope before we use it later aid me here?
Yes, but it's going to slow you down. You'd have to like, rope yourself up properly to be able to do it. In which case it would happen after Sataria is already to the top of the ramp on the other side, which is fine.
Okay, so
but just,
I'm
just letting you know.
Well, they need to. I'm kind of going a little backwards in time now because they had to have used my rope for all of us to go up there.
Right, if they were doing that yet. So that's because all that we had established was Sataria jumped to the top. So,
okay.
Sataria was kind of like, let's go now. So I don't know what that's happened.
And Jaraxxus isn't going to like, let me just set up a rock climbing setup real quick and just do a full set. He's, yeah, I'm going to cast Innervate.
I need to film this for IMAX. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing the next free solo film. I'm going to just cast Innervate on myself to get some extra health. Perfect, great. It's my temporary HP that I always get.
All right, so you've got 8.
Yep. And then, yeah, I'll just make that athletics check.
Okay.
Just a hefty +0.
For a 14.
14. Okay, yes. You have a couple of somewhat hairy, moments where you're kind of like, you're not really a mountain climber, Jaraxxus, but you are able to make your way up a little bit until you get to what's close to the dark mark. And indeed, it looks as if some object, some device, or some tool has been used to chip away. Behind the rock is this sort of shimmering, hard black substance.
Okay. What scale is this thing?
The mark that you see in front of you is probably a couple feet wide, maybe a foot tall. It's like a gash in the wall. It's not very deep. Like you can, it's sort of flaked off the top layer of stone, but it's not super deep.
Shimmering black substance.
Yeah, glittering, I should say, not like
glittering.
Magical, but it's glittering in the light.
Does it resemble ore? Almost?
Yes, you think so? Maybe.
Jaraxxus will go to scoop some of it up.
Okay.
With his hand.
Well, it's hardened, right? So it's like it's in the wall. So you probably would need a tool yourself to like get a little bit of it.
Meanwhile, I look back. The
They're already gone.
Collapsing. They're already getting ready to go. Okay. Yeah, I would love to, before I leave, get a tiny bit of it. I'm just trying to figure out what I can use to chip it away. Maybe could I grab one of the hooks or spikes that's coming out of the wall? That seems like a sharp metal thing that I could use.
Sure. Let me have you make a strength check, though, because you are sort of hanging on the wall and then also trying to grab this. So
no problem. 18.
Okay. Yeah, you pull the thing free just as, again, the cavern shakes a little bit. And you can hear that rumbling sound again as you pull the metal thing free.
I pocket it, descend, and rush back to the group. Okay. And
assuming the group waited for you.
Yeah, avail use of my rope, et cetera, and we get the heck out of here.
Okay. When you pull yourself up, the floor of the tunnel as you leave this chamber curves, but it's also sloping upward, and the rumbling noises get louder and louder as you make your way through the tunnel. And then the ground shifts even a little bit below your feet as another quake hits, this one much stronger than those that came before. Now, nothing is raining down on you, but there are, you will notice, metal pillars at regular intervals now that are shoring up the top of this. But clearly the is sort of every so often, at regular intervals, 30, 60 seconds apart, maybe a minute and a half apart, as you continue to make your way up. So growing louder and stronger. And after about 150 feet or so, it ends at a plateau of sorts, and you exit onto a platform which is overlooking a vast underground region of rocky, jagged terrain. There are stalactites and stalagmites blanketing the ceiling and floor, and the largest of these have now melded into these giant hourglass-shaped columns. But the thing you notice most of all going is, as I bring us over to the other map, you notice something inside this cavern because you are not alone. I'm going to put this on stream here. And I will show it to you here in just a moment. Whoops. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Never mind. You will notice something, I promise. Just not what I was about to show you. Right. That's what I was going to show you. All right, so you see roaming about what? Where the devil are you? I just saved this thing and it didn't save. What? Hang on a minute. Yeah, you hear a barking dog.
Yeah, sorry.
That definitely happens. Totally. No, that's fine. I just don't understand. I wonder if I accidentally saved it somewhere else. Hang on a second. Maybe I made a mistake.
Tunnel into your computer's files for it.
Yeah, I know, right? The weird thing is that I had this, and okay, I obviously did not save it properly, so I will save it now. Just 1 second. I'm sure you're all very excited to hear what the heck this all is. Okay, paste, crop, save as. Yep. Oh, that's why. Okay, I see what I did. I put it in another folder, which would explain why I didn't see it where I was supposed to see it. I saw Expedition and I accidentally put it in Eberron, and that's not where it belongs. It certainly doesn't belong there. It belongs in Expedition. Okay. There we go. Finally, my apologies. All right. So, you see roaming about this place that was far more dramatic than I needed to make it. This. It is an enormous, I would say, monstrous spherical contraption on mechanical legs. And it almost looks like a three-legged spider with a huge globe on the top. And as you were looking at it, it's walking along the floor, and as it does so, you can see bits of stone coming up from beneath it. And every so often, you can see it stop by one of the stalactites or stalagmites, and then this massive drill comes down from the spherical globe and into the stalactite or stalagmite rather, and it makes this horrific sound. You can this clearly. If this is what they were referring to, what those light orbs were referring to, clearly it's very overwhelmingly loud, and you can see rock and everything shooting from every direction, and the cavern almost rumbles beneath you. And then there's a pause, and then the drill sort of slows down, and then and you can see right around the mechanical legs, you can see that there are a few creatures not that far away from it that are sort of looking up at each other. They are looking up at it and at the walls, and occasionally point at the walls and shout something to each other. You can't hear it, it's too loud. And they are cloaked figures. and watching as this monstrosity goes from place to place, digging into the walls.
Are these creatures in any danger of
They don't
being
seem to be
hit?
afraid of this thing, no. They seem to be
Okay.
like sort of occasionally you can see them pointing at the thing and then at the walls and then kind of almost gesticulating up at the walls.
And they know how to move with it so that they don't get harmed.
Seems like it.
Okay.
Scale wise, are they like how tall do they seem like they are? Or can we even
Relative
tell?
to, well, yeah, relative to you, this cavern, as I said, is vast. So relative to you, they seem pretty small below the legs, and so would you. This thing is probably a good 30 feet high, this device. It is enormous and huge. It would be like, in our world, like a steam shovel twice the size, at least.
So are we, quote unquote, small
Yes.
like these creatures?
Very
So we're
much
about
so.
the same size as the creatures.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, we found it.
Oh, and Jaraxxus was like, "Yeah, I can stop it."
I am sure I still could. If
Do we
I-
need to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure that we do. The bigger problem may or may not be the ones who seem to know how this thing operates.
By the way, Dooming's map ends here at about the center of the cavern, where supposedly the hidden whatever it is that lead the spot that leads up to where the ship is. That's supposed to be somewhere in the center of this cavern, and you think you're looking out at what is roughly the center. This massive thing is, walking around in front of. I'd also like a perception check from everybody, please. Okay. I see a 14. I see a 22. I see a... Is that a 14, Raven?
One moment.
It's like 13 plus 1 or something.
Plus, 1. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 14.
So I think the only one who sees this then is Nulls, because Nulls, as you are looking down at these creatures, you're suddenly aware of a very, almost given how loud it is, just a moment's pause when the thing stops crashing into things and digging. You hear a... As you look over, you can see there is what looks like a small flying machine that is headed in the direction of your platform that the four of you are standing on.
There's something headed our way. I don't know if it's friend or foe, but it's small, and it's buzzing, and it's flying.
And when you say that, the three of you, Satara, Raven, and Jaraxxus, can see it. And Jaraxxus and Raven would certainly recognize this. This looks like a drone. Possibly a strike drone. Which is a good spot for us to take our break. You are watching the wonderful folks from Day 34 of Expedition to the Mysterious Peaks. You're watching the crew of Rhiannon Held, Toya Kristen Finley, LaShawn M. Wanek, and Zach Clay. And we are going to take ourselves here about an 8-minute break, if that's okay. We'll come back about 9:25 p.m. Eastern, 6:25 Pacific. While we do that, it's a break for you folks as well. Make sure to stretch, take a drink, and all that stuff. Please follow these people doing all their awesome things. And when we come back, we'll see how they want to deal with flying drones and big war machines. But we'll be back in just a moment. Hang tight. Okay. So, welcome back, everybody. We are back with more of Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks, and joined as usual by Rhiannon, Toya, LaShawn, and Zach, as we are looking right now at this massive, what Proxima referred to as, what was that, a forbidden pumpkin? Yeah, that's basically what this looks like. Sort of. And so, yeah, the party is sitting right now on top of a platform looking down at this thing with a few creatures sort of scurrying around its legs, and coming towards them is this slightly humming, what looks like a drone that is heading in the party's direction. What would the party like to do?
Can either one of you take care of that? And I look at Raven and Draxus.
Well, is it a way to look at us? Because if they're just looking at us, then maybe we're still in the talking stage where we could talk to them.
You're not sure that it sees you yet. It seems to be just heading in your general direction.
Oh, okay.
But it will surely see you soon, depending.
Juraxis says, I think let's still be friendly while we can. Maybe we ignore the drone and just walk towards the people. Unless we get attacked.
Yeah, but be ready for anything. I mean, we don't know if these creatures are friendly or no.
Okay, I think we walk towards the big construct thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
So down the ramp towards it. Okay. As you begin to walk down the ramp towards the big thing, the drone comes zzz, and then pauses, just sort of quietly humming. And then the whirring increases in volume, and you hear a bzzz, and the creatures at the legs of the thing sort of look over in the direction and point in your direction, and the massive thing turns facing you, and then begins walking towards you as the figures run towards you as well. I would like initiative, please.
Hello! We were just like... Oh, okay.
We came to...
We've come in peace.
Okay. All right, here comes the initiatives. Let's get some combat music running up here.
Combat. They're just running because they're so excited to meet
so
new
happy
people.
you're here.
They're like dogs, like a golden retriever that hasn't seen its master.
On my turn,
like, oh
I
my
also
gosh.
say hello.
Yeah. Roll initiative for initiative-based conversation.
No, exactly.
Oh God! All right.
Okay, let's see. So let me add everybody to the turn order. Let's see. Oh, I can't do it that way. All right. Yeah, do I have... It's true. I need to get... because this map, we haven't been using tokens for you folks is why. All right, let me pull this out quickly.
You have a map?
Well, I don't have a combat map, no. So I'm going to use, for the moment, the previously... Oh, come on. The previously used map is a blast from the past for those people watching on stream. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, let's put you folks somewhere there-ish. All right, so that, let's see. There's Sataria, there is Raven,
We're still on the
there is
world
Juraxis, there is...
Right. Oh, never mind.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. That way I can
I just
add...
scrolled down, yeah.
That way I can add everyone to the turn. Oh. I see that it was already added. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, but that's not... None of that is accurate. Okay, I'm gonna ditch all of these because for whatever reason it did not work the first time. Okay, so add turn Sataria, add turn Raven, add turn Nulls, and add turn Draxus. Okay. All right. So let's see. Sataria with the 6. All right. Raven with the what's your dex bonus is 0, Raven.
Yep.
So 3.
3.
Jaraxxus with a 4, and it is only Nulls who's like, maybe there is a concern to be had here, who reacted immediately.
Don't forget about our lovely companion.
Oh no, I
Gomork.
haven't forgotten about Gomork, but of course we don't know exactly where he's going to be going yet. We shall see.
Okay.
Vigorous turn-based debate incoming. Hey, what's up, Artemisia? Welcome. Okay. So let's see. Yes. All right. Okay. Right, and Sataria is the 6. But it's fine. You'll get this your first chance to use your level 5 powers. I mean, like, you know, your shiny new powers should be just totally fine.
My new 5th level spell, Calm Emotions. No.
Should work very well against a massive machine. I can't imagine.
Of course.
Let's see. Although I will say that it's certainly big enough to be holding things inside it.
Yeah.
So it's not 100% sure that it's a robot. So it certainly looks like a, in quotes, demon. Metal demon. Okay. Right. Okay. So first to act is going to be Nulls, quite obviously. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me actually roll for the bad guys. I didn't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone gets to go, and they don't. That's because they haven't
You
rolled
don't
yet.
need.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Why do they need?
They could just stay there.
Yeah. Oh, why would that be a problem?
Just let it bug out for a round. It's like you're playing Final Fantasy, and they're just like, oh my, they're stunned. They're not moving on their first
Exactly.
turn. It's great.
Got to have give you all time to suplex a train like in Final Fantasy VI.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh God, yeah, that actually became kind of a meme. That at one of the fights, you literally are running away from a train, and one of the abilities of one of the characters is he can suplex people. So at one point, you can literally suplex a train. It's an interesting. It's an interesting experience. Okay. There's this one. There's that. Okay, right. So that is going to be. Which is. And that is going to be that. Okay. And then. And then the drone. Okay. Drone is going to be there. Okay. All right, so yes, so it is still, despite what I just said, it is still Null's turn to go first. So just so you know about the sort of tactical situation, this big thing is lumbering towards you, along with basically 3 figures. 3 of them cloaked, although one of them looks to have like some kind of a staff or something, and the other 2 look to have more like some kind of bladed weapon, almost like maybe like a halberd from a distance, although it's hard to make out exactly what it is as they're running toward you. They definitely will not get to you this turn, but if they're running at full speed, they should be able to get to you maybe in 2 turns. You probably have about 2 turns to act while this big thing and the other creatures here are lumbering towards you.
Okay, so question. If I say something, is that an action?
Not if you're just saying something quickly. If you're saying something to persuade or intimidate, it would be an action. And if it goes too long, then we get into action status. Like if you're going to be like, my people, let me begin by explaining.
No, I don't want to do that. The other question is, how far away is the drone?
The drone is the closest, probably about 15 feet away from you. The others are over 100 feet away.
Okay, and what's to the sides of us and behind us?
So you're walking down this ramp. All around you is a massive cavern. There's lots of stalactites, stalagmites, loose rock. Doesn't look like there's a lot of pits that are obvious. It seems like the fairly stable ground. It's uneven ground, but still. And then a huge roof. I mean, a couple 100 feet high, like way higher than where you are.
Okay. So I can say something. And the last thing is, because I'm still trying to... How do I look at the description of a spell without actually casting the spell?
On D&D Beyond, you just click the spell's name. Don't click cast.
Yeah, the word itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at my cantrips, and there isn't like cast or just at will is what you click on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to, and I guess, is there any place to actually step back to is the other question.
Well, you could walk back up the ramp.
Okay.
There's plenty of places to like jump behind and so on for cover, but that obviously goes both ways. It'll be hard to find any real cover next to this thing that seems to be smashing rock as it goes.
Right.
But,
So I'm actually going to yell very loudly in Sylvan. Okay. Hello! We're here because of a threat to our world, and we're hoping you can help us.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I am going to cast Blade Ward on myself.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Seems reasonable. They do not seem to slacken their pace at all. Either they didn't hear you or they have no interest in listening to negotiation. Hard to tell, though, because it is very loud in here. But and are you staying where you are?
I'm going to take a step back up towards the ramp a little bit.
Okay. All right. And that is going to lead us to... let's see. Next up is going to be Gmork. So Gmork kind of looks up at all of you and kind of snorts like... and kind of, when I say look, of course, his eyes, blinded or whatever, but sort of snuffles at you and then... and then turns and sort of puts sort of hackles raised, takes a couple of paces down the ramp, and then books it towards the ones that are running. So they're running towards him, and Gmork is like loping towards them. He won't reach them this turn, but he'll definitely reach them next turn if they keep running the same speed at him. For what that's worth. Okay. Now we get... the drone gets to go. And so what the drone is going to do is as follows. Okay. You hear this sort of I mentioned this whirring sound. And then you see emerging from, it's not very large, but emerging from its top is the extension of this barrel. And you hear this like a gun barrel. And energy bolts basically shoot out towards, let's see, it's a target-rich environment. Let's see which one it's going to actually attack. It is going to attack Sataria. So, congratulations, you've won the lottery. So, let's see. It is going to shoot at you with... that is an 18.
Yeah, even I did shield his reaction, but that'll still hit.
It still hits. Okay. You are going to take 7 points of force damage as it sort of slams into you, and then it kind of zoop buzzes up a little bit. Still maybe about 20 feet away, but up in the air a little bit, so it's not right next to you. Okay. Next to move is the big thing. And comes moving towards you. It's not going to get there immediately. However, it is... And as it does so, you can see from the underside of the dome, the drill that I mentioned comes up and then starts spinning. And next to the drill, a item like what looks like sort of a I don't want to call it a barrel. That's a tube anyway. Descends, and then there is a kind of a sort of a barked order that you can hear sort of echoing from the dome, kind of a some strange language. You don't know what it is. It does not sound like it's Sylvan or Common. Actually, what languages does everyone speak? I should just double check.
Common, Deep Speech, Elven, and Sylvan. And also telepathy, up to 60 feet.
Yeah, no. Not those things.
Is it
It is not. It may even be...
I got Celestial, but...
Yeah, it's not definitely not
same.
that.
No.
What do you got, Raven, language-wise?
I have Common, Nisi, and Terran.
And Terran. Yeah, no. I would say that it probably is closest to Sylvan, but it sounds like... it's nonsensical, though. It sounds like someone saying a word like Gunabalalao, and you're like, that sounded like gun
Star
ball
Wars
putting together, but it doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is the fact that a second later, from the tube, these large, and I mean like probably 4-foot long spikes come shooting out in your general directions. We're going to roll again to see which one of them. You'll be happy to know, Satara, you're not the one aimed at this time. But they are aiming at you, Raven. This is a good distance away. Now, the good news is that because it's a good distance away, it's not going to be rolling at advantage yet. So, it's an 11 to hit.
Okay.
Does that hit your AC?
Give me a second. Okay.
Do you not have your AC up there?
No, I do. I just need to find it.
Oh, okay.
No, it does not.
You don't have your armor class on the sheet?
No,
I think
Yeah.
it should, because you've had... Oh, it does not hit, you're saying. Okay, that's
No,
what I
it
was
does not.
that's what I was checking. Okay.
What is your armor class then?
it is 13.
Okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, that will definitely not hit, but it's sort of like... So it shoots past you and impacts the wall, Raven, and sticks in the wall, and you can see it is a large metal spike, which is just embedded in the wall as this thing is coming towards you all. So with that lovely image, Sataria is next up. Sataria, what would you like to do?
Ooh, okay. So much for talking.
Apparently.
Let's hit the spiritual weapon. At least get that out there.
Okay. Which I think you can do as a bonus action, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay. And then but then is the action the actual attack with it?
I believe
I
believe
don't think so.
No, I think the bonus action is used to move and attack with it. I believe. And you can move it up to a certain amount. I'm thinking like 30 feet or 40 feet. I don't remember exactly what it is.
It says 20.
Oh, 20 feet. Okay. And then attack
Yeah, I'm
with it at
just
the same
wondering,
time.
having cast it now, can I attack with it this
Yeah.
turn, or do I?
Mhm.
need
Yeah,
You
I think
can-
the
Okay.
turn-
Well, you have to. It depends on where you're locating it, because how far out can you cast it? Because my guess would be probably not, because they're still too far, unless you're going after the drone, I guess. In which case, maybe, because that's floating.
So my
you
range
could do
is
that.
60 feet
Okay.
to cast it.
Yeah. So you could bring it in and have it attack on this turn if you want to bring it next to the bring it next to the drone.
Yes, doing that.
Okay. Yep, you could do that. So let's see. Did you roll? Is that spiritual weapon 16? Is that what was that your roll for it, or have you not rolled for the attack yet?
Well, let me see what it. Yeah, that must be the attack, and then the
damage
yeah,
if it hits.
damage.
It tends to do it on your behalf.
Okay.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yes, that will hit.
Okay.
So you said 11 points of damage?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you will be happy to know that the spiritual weapon tears the drone in half. It was not very big, as I said, which is the good news. The bad news is you've already attracted the attention of the bad guys. But the drone's destroyed. So there's that. Okay, that was bonus action. What do you want to do with your regular action / move?
Let's see. I mean, I usually wanted for healing later, so I think I'm going to do Shield of Faith on myself,
Okay,
just to stay up long enough.
seems reasonable.
So,
All right. And are you moving anywhere, by the way, while you do that, Sataria? Like up and down the ramp? Like you're still kind of midway down the ramp, I would say. So you could go further down. You could back up.
yeah,
So.
backing up, I think.
Okay. All right. You can do that. All right. Bad guys get a chance to go. They, however, are not going to reach you, as I said, yet. They are running full speed towards you. The cloaked one is in front, and you can see now as they're closer that he has a staff. Moreover, or they have a staff. Moreover, you can see something else. And, Nalls, this is going to be familiar in particular to you. I don't think anyone else has seen this. But the front of the mask that they all have is indeed a gold mask with eye slits. And it looks exactly like the masks you saw on the guards that killed Elu's brother and were trying to slaughter people in the in the town square. You might remember way back at the beginning of the session. So these were part of the trusted guards that were surrounding the Primarch. All three of them are wearing that mask. So the cloaked one goes first, then the ones behind with those sort of energy halberd things that they're holding run as well. They just keep moving because they can't get to you yet. And that's going to lead us to Jaraxxus next. What would you like to do, Jaraxxus?
Oh, okay. I'm going to. Yeah, they're just being violent. Okay. Oh, I have a few options actually. I'm gonna look at gravity sphere here.
Okay.
Which might make an area of effect, which would be really cool to use against these guys. So gravity sphere. Hold on. Yes. Thank you. Oh, computer. Okay. So how far, you said that they spent their turns moving. How far away are they now?
So now they're probably about 60 feet away from you, I would say.
Okay, great. Okay. Great. Restrained as long as it remains. Yeah, this seems like a good idea. I'm going to cast Gravity Sphere. It's a kinesis talent.
Okay.
So Jaraxxus holds his hand, and shooting outward from it is a small sphere of Esper energy. I was about to say ether energy.
Ether, Esper.
Esper energy that then it almost looks like a bubble that shoots out like a projectile,
Okay.
and then when it reaches their location, it like grows to a dome size.
Very nice.
So you create a sphere of crushing kinetic force at a point within 60 feet. So the sphere has a 20-foot radius and is fixed at that point. So
Okay.
I'm essentially just going to drop this aura right in the middle of them.
Okay.
The area inside, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it, if I can, such that they are at the beginning of it. And because it says the area inside the sphere is difficult terrain.
Okay.
So instead of them having only one radius to cross, I'd actually like them to kind of be at the beginning of the
I
sphere,
gotcha.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But still in it. The area is also lightly obscured.
Okay.
So basically dim light. Each creature that starts its turn in the sphere or that enters it must make a dex save. On a failed save, it is considered restrained.
Okay.
And a creature restrained by the sphere can attempt to break out, but when they break out, they take force damage. So yeah, it's essentially a gravity sucking sphere that kind of holds them in place.
Well, Golden Drake says he's all about spheres of crushing kinetic force, and Proxima says it's always dangerous in Jiraxis Park. So I think that shows
Jiraxis Park.
Jiraxis Park.
Love it.
Okay. All right, you can do that for sure. Since you're shooting it at them, they won't make their save until next turn, when they will begin their turn in it. But you could do that, sure.
And that's right. So I'm gonna cast that, and I'll be concentrating on it as well.
Okay.
And then for a bonus action, I will or can't do anything else. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move 15 feet closer to them. So still kind of near my group, but getting a little closer to them.
Okay. You can do that. And that's going to lead us to Raven. Raven, you are last to act. You can see the scenario unfolding in front of you. What would you like to do?
Let's see. How far away is the nearest figure towards me?
The nearest one is probably about 60 feet, which is where Jiraxis just put that little gravity orb thing. So about 60 feet away from you. The big thing, the big hulking machine, is probably right behind that. So that might be like 70 feet from you.
And is anyone that I know of in front of me? Like, I think... Isn't
Jiraxis.
Yeah, Jiraxis is in front of you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 15 feet ahead of you. Closer to the enemy.
I mean, it's a big space, so you would, you should have room to fire or shoot around, unless it's a big area of effect thing or whatever, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to think what...
And chat, for those of you who've just come in, this is what they're battling in the caverns below the barrier peaks, along with 3 other creatures. They have destroyed a drone, though, so
we did that.
You did that.
Okay. Then I am going to... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cast Synaptic Recoil.
Okay.
In front of the nearest figure, which is about 60 feet.
Okay, which is probably the cloaked figure is the closest one.
It's the cloaked figure.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they release a wave of psychic feedback, racking it with pain. So the target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. What's the DC I'm looking to beat, please, Raven?
The DC is... My DC or their DC?
Your DC. There should be a spell casting DC that's like default for you.
14.
14. Okay, well, the 13 is a fail then. So they do not make it, which means that they take... Is that 3d6 psychic damage, I see?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll that damage, please.
Oh, that's awesome.
3d6, you say?
Yeah, 3d6.
8 damage.
Okay. As they run at you. Have you heard the good news? Ah! They just clutch their head and go reeling backwards. Okay, so that and then is going to make its reaction. So yes, it like screeches to a halt, basically. and turns around and runs past. And you see as it runs past the two, energy wielding weapon guys, they sort of, now you obviously can't see their expressions because of the mess, but they both like look at each other as the other one is just running back the other way. But you have definitely had an effect, Raven.
I wonder, he was in the sphere of
that's right, actually. Yes, that's true.
I know, I forget the technical ruling of this. I know that the first part that says each creature that starts its turn, he did not start his turn, this was a reaction. The other clause is if it enters the sphere, which doesn't seem like it counts, but he is moving through it.
No, I would qualify that as him trying to escape it.
Okay.
I think that's the way to look at it. I think it's not that it's restrained. Actually, we'll see if it is restrained, first of all.
Yeah, it says he has to make then a dex save.
Let me do that quickly. What's your DC that I'm trying
14
to get?
as well.
He does make that. I guess fear does a terrifying thing.
Yeah,
so he is not restrained. Does he still take damage or no? Okay.
Nope, there's no other effect for him other than that the area is difficult terrain, so his reaction running away is maybe slowed a tiny bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. Good work there, Raven. Are you moving anywhere? Right now you're behind Jiraxis. Are you moving like up to closer to Jiraxis or further back?
Yeah, I'll move closer to Dr. Jiraxis.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Top of the round. Nulls, we begin with you. Gamork will be on deck. What would you like to do?
So I would love to cast Thunderwave, but I have a feeling that would hit our good Grand Doggo in front.
What's the range on Thunderwave?
Well, it says self.
No, that's right. That's what I thought. So the thing is, you'd have to run up. So yeah, that's right. If it were on a point, then you could technically shoot it past Gamork because Gamork was after you. But yeah, you would have to run up to them. And then you'd be right next to Gamork, and it would affect Gamork too, yeah.
Yeah. I can, though, cast Cloud of Daggers. Because that's a range of 60
That's
feet.
perfect.
You could do that, yeah.
The Cloud of Daggers and the sphere keeping them in the... Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's no saving throw for that either.
Nope.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, the leader there with the staff, he's the one who ran off, correct?
That's right, yeah. But he is not able to move out of that 60 feet. I mean, because of the difficult terrain part.
So where are the other two in relation to him now?
Right behind him. Now they're ahead of him because he ran past them, but not by much because it's difficult terrain. So they are in front now, the two of them, less than 60, about 60 feet away from... Yeah, about 60 feet away. If you move up, you could move up 10 feet, and then they'd definitely be within it. But regardless, I think even where you are, they'd be in it.
Yeah, I wanna do more damage to the leader.
Okay.
I can do that.
Then
right?
you ought to move up then, because the leader's behind them. So, yeah.
Okay, how much do I need to move up?
I mean, if you moved like 20 feet up, and then you hit the range of that at its full range, that would mean that he's on the from his perspective, the near side. Which means if you were going to keep going, you'd have to keep running through the middle of it. So you would get all of them, I think, if you did that.
Okay, if I move up 20 and I thought cast Cloud of Daggers though was just one that it hit.
No, I don't think so. Cloud of Daggers, I believe
it's a 5 foot area.
It's a 5 foot area, but
Okay.
but it's
So
not like just on one. It's targeting that one space. So yeah.
Okay, so I can get all of them that way.
I would think
normally, I don't know how you do the grid if it's more open, kind of like a video game where you can aim literally anywhere. But on strict grids, one creature occupies one square.
Right.
Cloud of Daggers occupies one square.
Right.
But
the way I would say it is that if you put the Cloud of Daggers in between the two guards that are literally almost shoulder to shoulder, you can get both of them. If you aim just at the guy behind them, which is the guy in the cloak, then you would just be hitting him because he's probably, 10 feet behind them, I would say.
Yeah, the notes here says 1M 5 feet square VSM. I don't know what that means.
It's verbal somatic, like what the spell components are to be used. So really it's a question of whether you want to go for the two guards in front or the guy in the back with the cloak.
I should probably take on the two guys in the front.
Okay.
Since the guy in the back is injured already and these two are not.
That's right, and is also freaked out by Raven.
Right. So that's what I will do.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and cast that.
Okay. All right. And yep, so Cloud of Daggers, 13 slash damage, which I think happens when they start their turn in that space, right? I believe. Let me take a look. I don't remember, but I think so.
You fill the air with spinning daggers in a cube 5 feet on each side, centered on a point you choose within range. A creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Okay. That's the start the turn thing that I thought. Yeah, okay. All right, we will address that. They're about to get a whole lot of that between the gravity orb and the your Cloud of Daggers. Okay, sounds good. Are you, and you had to move up 20 feet to cast that. You could now back up 10 feet.
Yeah, I might back
if you
up
want
10 feet.
Okay. All right, now, let's see. Gamork is up next. Now, the question is, what is Gamork going to do? Is he going to... I think what he is going to do is I think he'll risk the gravity orb, but he's not going to risk the Cloud of Daggers. So I think he's going to duck around the Cloud of Daggers. So he's going to give them basically a wide berth. They are not going to go after him because they're still dealing with multiple issues, including the gravity orb. And he's going to zip past them to try to attack the cloaked guy. So let's see, which means he may be subject to the gravity orb. When he first enters the turn, Jaraxxus, is that right?
Yeah, when a creature enters the sphere during a turn.
All right, he will take a shot at that. And he needs to make a what save? Dex save?
Yeah.
DC on that again, I'm sorry?
14.
Okay, no, he makes it. And he leaps.
Of course he makes it.
He's Gamork. Didn't make it by a lot, but he does make it. And leaps upon the cloaked figure. Going to rule that that's at advantage because the cloaked figure is trying to get away. Not that it would have mattered because he rolled in both cases a 21, not natural. All right. Okay, yeah. You so you hear this scream suddenly cut short, and you see the guy in the cloak go down, and then a horrible tearing sound. So there's that. That's the good news. Not as good news is the big creature, the big globe with legs coming up. And now I would say is... yeah, okay. Comes up and is moving, of course, faster than them. Comes up to right where Gamork is, on top of the cloaked figure. It lifts up one of its legs and brings it down as if to crush Gamork, and presumably the already now dead, at least it's going to be dead in a minute if he isn't already, creature on the ground. Yeah, and I think that's going to hit. Okay. So you see it go, and you hear this sort of terrible squishing sound. Gamork, growls and almost cries out to the extent that Gamork ever does that. Not dead, but clearly was badly hurt by that stomp attack by this thing. It did stop moving towards you, so it could do that, for whatever that's worth. But Gamork is in some trouble at the moment.
So Gamork also has that item also.
That's right. The Periapt of Wound Closure. That's quite right.
Yeah.
Which that's good because a lot of wounds. But the Periapt of Wound Closure just means that you stabilize whenever you're dying at the start of your turn, and when you roll a hit die to regain hit points, you double the number of hit points it restores. So if he goes down, he'll automatically stabilize. But that's a nice in case of emergency break glass, but at the moment we'll see whether that happens. Okay, Sataria, that's going to lead us to you. You just saw what happened to Gamork, and you now have two other, besides the big thing, you've got the two guards that are in the Cloud of Daggers and the gravity, and there's a lot going on down there.
I wouldn't have any sort of in-character knowledge about whether spiritual weapon would do anything to the clanky metal guy.
Not necessarily. It might,
Okay.
but you've never seen anything like this. By the way, now that it's close, you can definitely identify this thing. I would say, Sataria, this has got to be some kind of a construct. You haven't seen anything like this before, but it doesn't strike you as like alien to the world or like I've never seen anything. It's just enormous and like, scary, but not completely alien to the planet, you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna move the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Is the bonus action.
Okay. 20 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can it make it?
I don't think it gets there this turn. It would get there next turn.
Can it make it to one of the figures?
Yes, it could do that.
Okay. I want to make it to whoever I can.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so you're going to have it attack as your bonus action?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and do that.
26 to hit.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, that will certainly hit quite a lot.
12 damage.
12 damage. Okay. All right. That actually seems to very badly hurt one of them, which is already not doing great anyway, because of like the current circumstances. So yes, it slashes down. Good work out of the spiritual weapon. What about you?
So I can do something for Gamork, but I need to be within 30 feet. Can I, if I move up, get close enough to him?
I think you would be a turn away. You could get close enough that next turn you could. I don't think you could get to within 30 feet now. He was running away from you and is currently smushed.
I want to deal with this smushing.
I know.
Yeah, so I'm going to use my turn moving up to try to get to him.
You can do that for sure. Okay, good stuff. Now, the one creature is not appearing in this picture. That is the one that is
Also,
underneath.
the cloud of daggers coming for.
Yeah, well, so the first one is the cloaked guy, and the cloaked guy is not going to be functional again after being smashed first by Gamork and then by a machine. So then it is those other guys. So yes, now they're going to take the cloak of daggers thing. So, and actually, let's do this in order. First of all, the gravity orb. So they have to make what on that one to get away from that again?
14 dex save.
14 dex save. Let's do that first. Okay, one misses it and one makes it.
Okay, the one that fails is restrained, so it cannot move. The other one is unaffected.
And that one was the one that was slashed by the spiritual weapon is restrained. The other one is unaffected. Now we're going to do Cloud of Daggers. So for Cloud of Daggers, I believe we're also looking at dex saves.
There are no
saves. It just happens.
Oh, it just happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in the space.
All right. Then you need to roll damage for both because they are sitting there.
It's 13.
13 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one that's like can't move is not going to be happy about it. Just cut up to ribbons, basically, and falls in a shower of blood. The other one, which did make the save, is still hurt quite a bit from those daggers, and basically staggers out of the cloud of daggers and continues to move towards you, although it is like, he's staggering forward towards you. He will be to you next turn if you haven't destroyed him by then, because he got very badly hurt by that cloud. So speaking of the next person to go, that's Draxus. And Raven is on deck.
Okay. All right. So the drone and these enforcer guys have gone down pretty easily, but the big machine is still there.
Yeah.
Does there? Yeah, Draxus is going to start to think about how to take this machine down or out.
Seems reasonable.
Especially because it's killing Gamork. So, two lines of thought. My first line of thought is he's probably going to try to shoot one of the legs to get it to collapse on itself or something. And then the other thought, does there seem to be a door or an entrance of some sort? You mentioned that there was like a tube that came out at some point. Did that look like it could be walked through?
It was too small for that, but this is what I'll say. I will allow you to make, depending on how close you want to get to it, Draxus, would be the way that I would give you perception checks. So right now you're at disadvantage. It's moving, you're moving. If you want to close in on it, I would give you progressively higher checks. You could maybe even get advantage on a perception check to see the specifics of it. But if you're going to do that, you have to run underneath this thing or close. Not underneath its leg.
Daring the guy whose whole celebrity thing is getting footage.
Look at this, everybody! Smash that like button.
Of course.
I didn't mean that smash.
He will muster up the courage to run forward, and for a moment gets lost in the how epic the shot is.
It's
as he will
wild.
use his whole movement, 30 feet, to get right up as close as he can.
I will allow you to make a perception check at advantage. You are right underneath it, and you can see
Great.
the massive golden dome with metal crisscrossing underneath above you.
Okay. All right. Perception, you say. Little did you know, I am really good at that with an 18.
An 18. Yes. Underneath, you can see that there is indeed the tube that launched the spikes down there. There's also the drill, which is spinning in a troubling way. But between them, you can see a decently large, what looks like a trap door or panel with a handle in it. It's about probably, the whole globe is probably about 15 to 20 feet in diameter. So it's probably a good 10 to 15, say 15 feet above you. Is the bottom of this thing, but there's clearly a handle on the bottom of it, of this panel. And the panel itself is maybe 5 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
Or the trap door or whatever it is.
Okay. I have an idea, but I want to check this spell. The push spell. Oh. Okay. Does this... Ooh, okay. Looking at the trapdoor and then looking at the legs, can Jiraxis see like a some sort of joint in the leg that he could shoot at? And does it seem... I don't know if there would be a check involved, but I'm also right under it too, of like assessing its durability and its where its load is bared. And
These
all
things look pretty strong. You don't know that it would be easy with just sort of hand weapons. This thing looks like clearly some kind of excavation device at some point, like was designed to do this. However, that trap, it also does not look like well shielded, by which I mean like the trapdoor is not, you don't see like multiple locks and bristling guns around it and everything else. It looks like it's for big things, so.
Okay, I think then I'm going to try... Ooh, yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm going to try the talent called Push.
Okay. Does it involve you lighting a lightsaber and going up underneath and then trying... Okay, let's just check.
I just realized, though, the range is only 10 feet. This is much higher than that, like
Not
20 feet.
much higher, but somewhat higher, yeah. Probably about 15.
Could I jump to push?
Do you have a 5-foot vertical?
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
No. But Jiraxis is also really short. Too.
Unless you yell at Sataria, throw me your jump ring, and then there'd be a lot going on
there.
All right.
Never mind then. I was going to do push because it seems apt. But I'll just do a sprite beam. I'm going to just manually damage the trapdoor.
Okay.
In the hopes that some sort of, interior machinery is exposed.
Okay.
I don't know. Because it seems like the legs are not the best option.
And it's a very big sized door. Jiraxis, you may suspect it's more like, you don't know if it's a mechanical panel, but it's slightly curved. You almost wonder if it's for like ingress and egress from the globe. But either way. So yeah, you can shoot a spray beam. Sure.
And either way, it's damage to the construct, which it probably won't like. Okay.
Which it richly deserves.
So take that. 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
With a sprite beam.
Yep.
Okay. And
surprisingly, not very capable of getting away when you're right underneath it, and it's moving above you.
And then I took the 2 complex pattern, which is essentially actually I forget. Oh, the Eldritch Invocation, essentially is the D&D equivalent that lets me add my intelligence to my sprite beam damage.
Right,
This is the
okay.
equivalent to a warlock adding charisma to Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
So that's 7 points of force damage to the door.
Okay. And yes, you can. It takes that. There's a definite sound of like a crack, and you can see little spider web across the sort of. It's not glass, but some kind of strange plastic substance that's at the bottom of it. So it definitely took that. It did not open up the door or anything, but it definitely did damage it.
And Jaraxxus will shout back to his friends that there is a trapdoor on the underside.
Okay.
And he'll also say,
We need to disable this thing.
and that's my turn.
Raven, you were up, and Nalls will be
Okay.
on deck.
So I hear Dr. Jaraxxus yell that, and I agree. We need to stop this thing. I am not as as reckless as Dr.
It's
Jaraxxus,
reckless. I was thinking of the
But-
word.
but I do understand what he's trying to do going underneath. So,
Okay.
and it just so happens I have a light pistol that might help,
Okay.
with the gun. But I also don't want to get trampled by this.
Also, you have one remaining guard or whatever between you and it, hurt, but
Oh.
still technically between you and the thing.
Oh, that's right. That is right. So I have to actually take care of this dude first.
I mean,
I mean, he is in the middle of a gravity sphere and a cloud of daggers, so he's probably not going
Not the cloud. No, not the gravity sphere. He cleared it. Remember, he was the guy who was fast who broke free from it, but he was affected
Oh.
by the cloud of daggers initially. He ran out of the cloud of daggers, so he is not affected
Oh, but
by
he's
the
still
cloud
in the
of daggers
gravity
anymore.
sphere?
No, there was one that was restrained by the gravity sphere and the cloud daggers, and he's already dead.
I see.
This guy though was the one that made a save, so he was not restrained, and running, and he did take the cloud of daggers damage and is now out of the cloud because he can't move the cloud.
And is he also out of the area of the sphere
Yeah.
as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
mean,
think
quite badly hurt though.
Well,
actually, I don't know. I mean,
if
how
I-
long?
yeah,
That's a good
if I-
point. How far is the range?
because it's a 20-foot radius.
Yeah, and
And
it's
if
difficult
they-
terrain,
if I-
right? Well,
Yeah,
no, but is it
exactly.
difficult terrain for them if they make the save though?
Even if they make the save.
Okay, well
yeah.
then he's not out of the range of it. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool. Anyway,
Okay, well, how far away is he from me?
Probably at this point, because you went back up the ramp, probably about 30 feet. You'd have to be like use your whole movement to get to him, but you could get to him this turn if you wanted, Raven.
Okay.
Although I guess be aware, based on what Jaraxxus just pointed out, the gravity sphere does not only target like enemies. So that means that you also could be sucked in by this gravity sphere if you get up to the guy.
Okay.
Same logic.
Well, then, so basically, I need to do something from a distance.
True.
So
I do remember hearing about a pistol.
I have a pistol, but I also have more psychic.
Oh, yes. I love that. Absolutely.
Okay. Then I'm going to use one of my talents. I'm going to try and take care of them. One of my adept talents, which is improved Psy Blast.
Nice.
It's
It's not your grandfather's Psy Blast. It's an improved Psy Blast.
an improved Psy Blast. And I may actually, yeah, I'm going to basically use my 5th level power on it. So instead of, so he needs to do a dexterity saving throw.
The Psy Blast that I have here, well, you said improved Psy Blast, because the Psy Blast that I see says that it's a ranged channeling attack by you. So I don't think he makes a saving throw. You just make a ranged channeling attack on him, and if you hit, it does that damage.
Oh, okay.
And it does 2d10 damage because it's now 5th level. It's when
Yeah.
you reach 5th level. That's the point. So,
Okay.
So a ranged channeling attack. So it would be which you should have on your sheet somewhere, what your spell attack is, like what the normal plus would be.
attack modify. So, okay. 6.
Okay, so D20 plus 6. Let's see if you hit.
13 plus 6, 19.
19 will definitely hit, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that 2d10 damage.
Okay, 2d6.
2d10.
Oh, 2d10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Improved Psy
It's
Blast.
improved Psy Blast.
Oh my gosh, that's not even on the thingy.
It's not
Hold
Fisher
on.
Price, my first Psy Blast. It's improved Psy Blast.
2 D10.
10.
Perfectly balanced.
Yes, and plenty of damage enough
Ow.
to kill this thing. He just almost like is shot backwards. His neck snaps backward with the force of your improved Psy Blast, and he just lands on the ground, dead. You moved your whole turn to get up to him. So, or actually, no, I'm sorry, you didn't because you shot from a distance. So you still could move, Raven. Is there anywhere you want to move?
Yeah, let me move closer to him. Let me move the full 30 feet.
Like that area, but not up to the gravity sphere, if I understand it correctly.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. All right, we're going to go to the top of the round. I just need to talk to my wife briefly. Talk amongst yourselves for a second, and then Knowles is going to be going in just a second.
So, do we think there's somebody piloting this thing?
I think so.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
trapdoor.
Yeah, if someone's channeling, if we can get that person out, I can do some serious damage.
Well, my thought is also using vicious mockery on the pilot.
Huh. Yeah. Do you have to see the person?
So you unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enhancement at a creature. Yeah, you do have to see it.
Mm.
But it says if the target can hear you, though it need not understand you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage.
He might let you try it.
Yeah. Can I see it is the question. Because you've already said that there's a trapdoor.
Right.
So I guess then it's like, can I see
Mhm.
the pilot?
Only other thing I can do if this big mech thing continues to be a problem is I could cast Gravity Sphere again and center the sphere on the dome itself, which would be hopefully brutal to whatever's on the inside. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Um,
would be a good idea. Because we need to take care of it ASAP.
I'm not sure how else I can be of use against the construct itself.
yeah, me too. I mean, we can all do raw damage to it, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if it has health or.
Right. And I still cannot use Thunder Wave because that will hurt Gamork.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I
or,
don't, it might knock
yeah.
it down or back or whatever.
I
But
mean, honestly, I think Thunderwave would be great, and the construct is so big, you could probably position yourself. Like Gamork's under one of its legs. If you went to one of the other two legs, Thunderwave would probably be safe.
but here's the problem though. It would, again, it's a construct. It would have to make a Constitution saving throw. So I don't know if that would.
It would, yeah. it
Yeah,
would
I
still
don't know.
have to. It's going to take damage.
The
Like,
construct would have to make the Constitution saving.
Yeah,
throw.
exactly.
And it
Like
can
that.
do that.
Yeah, because Thunderwave does. Let's see. I think it doesn't just damage creatures. Thunderwave does thunder damage to everything.
Okay, so first of all I need to see.
Well, it does say a creature.
Yeah.
But
Let's see if I can attack the pilot, which would be my first.
yeah.
Because Vicious Mockery would be because Thunderwave might be, although it would do more damage. If I'm not able to get into position where I wouldn't hurt Gamork, then that
Mhm.
would not be the move because we're not hurting Doggo.
Right.
Well, and Satari is going to try to, heal Gamork, maybe get him up. So maybe, I don't know, like, how trapped he is under the leg, but if we can get him out of there, then that
Mhm.
would open up more options, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know whose turn it will be. Also,
It's
too-
mine. I'm next.
Okay, great. We're also closing in on you when we usually start to wrap up too.
Right.
So we might end up doing that. Okay, cool. We have plans. This is interesting.
And I'm looking forward to looting so much.
These
guys-
get our
I'm
own
so
golden
looting.
masks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So for the two of you who joined us later in the campaign, like literally episode 1, how the campaign started, which Toya was around for, of course, is that we each had 2 sets of characters. We had fantasy characters and sci-fi characters, and then we reached a point maybe a few episodes in where half of us decided to do the sci-fi ones, half of us decided to do the fantasy ones, so Toya and I split on that. But when we did the fantasy half, which I was also a part of because this was before we made the decision, one of the main like cities in this world, this like floating city called Amria, I think, Toya?
Was it a city or was that just like the
Or maybe
region
Camria is the
itself?
whole.
Yeah.
But either way, this floating city, there was some event like festival or something nice happening, and then it was ambushed by these golden masked guys who like murdered or tried to murder a bunch of people, killed Elu Whisperwind's brother, which kind of fills in because Elu Whisperwind's kind of been our NPC companion for a while, other than Gamork. But anyway, so Jaraxxus actually would not know about these because he's the sci-fi character, and the sci-fi characters did a different intro. So, but yeah, these are like, I don't know, like they're like stormtroopers, I guess is the way to put it. Like they're a evil occupying power over a normally peaceful civilization. But we haven't been back to that floating city since episode 1 or 2. So,
And they also have odd technology that's not necessarily Magitech because they all teleported away somehow.
yeah. So, should be fun. But anyway, I don't know if he's returning to.
It looks like he's about to.
Yeah, he was about to. But anyway, hi Prince Justin. Hello to you as well. That's right, we have a chat. Hi, chat.
Hi, chat.
Oh, hi,
What's
Chat.
going on, chat? What you up to?
You're like watching you. What are you up to? We should take over the stream.
I mean,
What are we
sometimes
gonna-
you
what do we wanna
multitask,
do?
you know.
Yeah.
If you're doing something other than watching us, like you're watching us
That's
and
true.
something else, like
I do
if
that
you're
all the
having
time.
dinner, what you eating for dinner, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
You got the Final Four on. You watching Duke and Houston. You know, who you rooting for? Are you for Florida or whoever wins this game? Who you rooting for?
Or do you care?
yeah. I'm with
Well,
the.
of course you care
I'm in
because
LaShawn's
see,
boat.
Prince Justin is playing Civ 6, 7.
Is that?
7?
I think that's 7 with a
Yeah,
slight
that's 7.
misspelling. That's cool.
Civville.
Civville.
That's
Unless
the new Zynga game, Civville.
Oh, Civ 7. No, Civville. It's like Farmville, but Civ. Oh god, I remember
Oh, you
that.
were doomstorming for yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. Gosh, we as humans were not meant to consume this amount of global terror.
Doom.
Yeah. Welcome back. We have solved world hunger.
I'm sure you have.
And-
Yeah,
yes.
I apologize. There's been some serious family stuff going on here the last few
Of
weeks,
course.
so I apologize.
Yeah, we strategized a little bit, but also realized it's kind of close to our wrapping.
Yeah, I
time as
know.
well,
I
so
know. Yeah, that was not optimal, but
It was all good.
nothing about the situation the last few weeks has been optimal. Okay. Well, let's. So we were, I think, at the top of the round. Let's
Yeah,
do this
I'm-
Let's do this round quick, and then we will wrap whether we killed it or not.
Oh no, I will
so-
try to ask this quickly then.
Okay.
Can I would like to we all agree there's a pilot in this construct. And I would like to cast Vicious Mockery on the pilot.
Okay. Do you have to be within visuals?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I have to be first of all, I have to be within 60 feet.
I think you could probably cover that if you ran up to underneath it. But it's very funny. Let me see. At a creature you can see within range.
Yeah. My other question is
It's too bad I love that idea, but
yeah, I would like to cast Thunderwave, but again, I am concerned about Gamork. Draxus had the idea of maybe attacking one of the legs, and would I avoid hitting Gamork that way?
oh sure, you could avoid hitting Gamork by attacking the legs. Just be aware that these legs are very sturdy, and it's going to take a while to bring it down. Just with they're not. I know they look like smaller than the rest of the thing, but they're not that spindly. Like, But
because
yeah, you could avoid hitting Gamork if you aim for those. Sure.
My concern is I don't really have anything to help take this thing down if I cannot attack the pilot. I mean, the other thing is I have 2 variations of Thunderwave. I have one at the second level and one at the 3rd level, and I've already used a 3rd level slot. And I'm wondering, do I need to hold on to that 3rd level Thunderwave for something and just do the 3rd level one? What do you think?
These are great questions. I mean, he's said that it's going to take a lot of damage to take this thing down. So I think we need a crafty plan of some sort. Honestly, along the lines of the vicious mockery thing, but the problem is being able to see the person.
Right, and I also I do not want to run right under this thing, because if I get hit, or if all of us are under this thing and we get hit, that's kind of a problem.
Triffid suggests a Hoth AT-AT style wrapping around of the legs with a roper cable.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Do you have a drone called Wedge?
I mean, and who would be the perfect person to do that is Gamork, a giant dire wolf, just holding the rope and spinning around, but he's not doing too well at the moment.
Still alive.
Thunderclap, I'm not close enough. You know what I could do? I could guide somebody else.
Okay.
I could maybe cast guidance on somebody else. Because at the moment, I don't see how my spells, or my crossbow or my rapier is going to do much. So, this is guidance. You touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the ability check. The spell then ends.
Okay, and probably, I think that's a bonus action, right? The guidance.
Is it?
I
How would I know?
know for sure.
How would I know that?
You'd look at the spell.
Look at the spell description.
I didn't see.
Should say casting time.
It just says buff. It says
click the word guidance.
It is one action, not bonus.
Yeah, it's not
so
a bonus.
it is a regular action. Okay, so then regular action, you could do that. Who are you going to touch, and then are you moving somewhere? And you have to run up. You might have to move up someone first.
Well, no, it's within 60 feet. I don't have to run up on him.
Oh, my version of guidance that I'm looking at is touch is the range.
My range says 60 feet.
Oh. What level is this?
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, I'm looking at the...
Which one are you looking at, Craig?
I'm looking at the 5e Roll20 compendium guidance.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing that Toya sees.
Okay, I'll go with what you say. So guidance is fine, 60 feet.
All right.
Just odd that it says the other one, but yeah.
Who is next? That's probably the person I should guide. Well, no. Let's think about this.
Think quickly, though.
Who should I guide?
Well, the thing is that most of us are going to be making attacks, and this only helps with an ability check like athletics or maybe honestly guide Gamork in case we do go with the cable idea, because he would probably have to make an ability check to run around. That's my idea, at least.
All right, I can do that. Sataria, do you have any abilities that you're going to be using?
So I'll be casting, cure wounds and stuff. I can't think of abilities particularly.
Okay, and Raven.
Let's see. I can move underneath the thing, but underneath the machine, but I will probably cast a Aegis before I do so.
Is that an ability check?
No, that's a cantrip.
Okay, so I will cast it on Gamork. then.
Okay. All right, you cast it on him, and Gamork kind of is like kind of also matted fur and looking pretty messed up, but kind of like grunts and growls at you, lying on his side. Do you try? And you're not speaking to animals right now. Do you direct
No.
him to do anything? Like, are you just pointing, or just like
Um,
high paw, Godspeed, type of thing?
No, I'll point like around the legs.
Okay. I'm going to have him make a check to see if he knows what the hell you're asking him to do.
Or watch it, because he's a dog. He's just gonna spin around in place,
And then goes to sleep. Spins around, lies down, goes to sleep. No. Okay, so he stands up because he's next to go. Stands up, looks around, and he just but he looks at you like because he's just standing there without anything at the moment other than
Right.
being on his feet. So
Who has the rope, by the way?
Based on DM, I don't know. Well, actually, no, I would probably have it, because even though Satari would have used it, I assume she probably would have just given it back to me. So I have it. I think.
Yeah.
okay, so then you have it. So it's Jaraxxus. So if he could also, since he did seem to understand what you were saying, maybe he could also hold his action until one of you gives him the rope, if that's what you wanted to do. So could do that.
Yeah,
Does that sound
seems
okay?
cool.
I mean, this is a very smart doggo. Of course, he understood.
Of course he understood.
We
All right.
have a connection.
Okay, so he's going to hold his action. I'm trying to zip through this because we're past time. Okay, it's going to go. It will. What will it do? It will attempt to stomp the creature that just hit it with a sprite beam. Oh, but you know what, Jaraxxus? I think it may not. That's a 13. I don't think you would have. I don't think it. You're hit by a 13, are you?
It's who is doing what?
The
Sorry.
the engine, the big
Is
thing
shooting
is trying to stomp you.
Oh,
Since you are right below it.
A 13 hits.
Oh, does it? Okay.
My AC is 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. Last Espergenesis, previous campaign, super dexterous character, sniper,
Yeah.
acrobatics, sleight of hand, stealth.
This one, not so
Jaraxxus,
much.
He trips on the
No
daily
mo-
basis.
Which is why we Sitaria with the healing. Okay.
Yeah.
You are going to take 22 points of bludgeoning damage. Now, 8 of that
Great.
is going out of your temp. So
Of
that
course.
means temp is gone, and you are now 14 out of 28.
Okay.
You are not, however, knocked down. You'll be happy to know. That sucked a lot. And it does not move anywhere because it's right above you.
I'll be fine.
Okay, Sitaria, you were up, and then Jaraxxus is on deck.
Okay, so
this is our
I'm
last round.
I'm using sorcery point to take the spell from touch to 30 feet.
Okay,
And then I am doing, let's see what I got. I'm doing second level cure wounds.
okay,
That's that.
Nice.
It says, 11 points of healing.
on Jaraxxus.
Gamork.
Oh, on Gamork. Okay, yeah, that's true. Gamork was in more
You
dire
got
shape.
squished.
Yes, he did. He's sort of which is usually what Gamork does if you've either hurt him, helped him, said hello, or punched him in the face. He has a very similar reaction matrix. Okay, good stuff, Sitaria. Are you
Wait,
moving
can she give him
anywhere?
the rope? Can she give him the rope?
She doesn't have the rope. Jaraxxus has the
I
rope.
have the
Oh, okay.
So, Sitaria, are you moving anywhere?
No.
Okay.
On the spiritual weapon.
Oh, yes,
Let
that's
me-
right.
I'll just hit one of the legs of the construct.
I was gonna say, yeah, what specifically, legs or whatever? Okay. Okay.
You know. Okay, so
Go ahead and make the attack on it.
If that cast twice, I didn't mean to. No, it didn't. Okay.
Is that a 10?
10 to hit.
10
yeah.
is not enough, I'm afraid. 10 is not going to do it. Just sort of does not impact the metal shell of the thing, but it's right there with it. Okay, which means Jaraxxus, on your turn, and then Raven is on deck to finish up the round. So on your turn, Jaraxxus, you could, if you want to give the rope, you could. I would allow you to do that as a bonus action if you're not going to move.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna throw the rope to Gamork, and then I'm gonna use for my action. I'm gonna cast Gravity Sphere again, but this time I'm going to center the Gravity Sphere on the dome itself.
Oh, can you? That's interesting. Now, can you? Gravity is concentration.
Yes.
So you're bailing on the one, okay,
That's
and then
correct.
the other one's coming up, okay.
Yep. And it has a 20-foot radius. I don't know if that entirely encompasses the dome, but it is also a sphere. I mean, on the ground it was functioning as a semi-sphere, but
yeah. That's very interesting.
My hope is just to essentially put a restraining, crushing force.
I love this
inside
idea.
and out. Yeah.
All right,
so
and then you're not moving, so you did that, okay? Right. All right, you've done that. Raven, you were up.
Okay. So what's happening? I'm sorry.
So
there's a gravity sphere on the...
There is a gravity sphere that's been cast just right underneath the bottom of the dome of this thing. And otherwise, Gamork has a rope in his mouth.
Okay.
And Jaraxxus was just crushed, but is still alive.
I'll be fine.
Well, this is... So, does someone need pulling out? I guess it does. I'm trying to picture this.
So you've got dome above you. You have Jaraxxus right underneath it. You have Gamork, who has got a rope in his mouth, preparing to do something. You have everyone else like underneath it directly is dead. You have Sataria having healed someone from a distance, and Nulls having run up a little bit and then backed up a bit, having cast something. So right now, Jaraxxus and Gamork are the ones underneath the dome.
Okay. And yeah. So, I'm trying to figure out what to do. Because mostly what I can requires either me seeing whoever is in the dome. Okay. Well, I could. Let's see. I could run underneath and. But would this work for also Dr. Jaraxxus? I do still have my barriers, my barrier talent, my Aegis talent. But it's just for myself. But if I'm touching Dr. Jaraxxus,
no, I don't think so. It would still affect, I think, only you, Raven.
Right. Ugh. Okay. Well,
I mean, for what it's worth, we have a lot of potential kinetic energy in this moment. Like Gamork's about to do the rope thing. The gravity sphere hasn't really taken effect yet.
It'll be taking effect next round.
If you did Aegis yourself as a defensive move, and then just wait to see how the battlefield evolves, that would be a good move. But
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. Then I cast Aegis on myself. And yeah, I'm gonna move close enough just to see what's going to happen.
Okay. You could definitely do that. And as you close, to within that spot and then cast Aegis and look up, you can see the bottom door of the dome possibly starting to stress as the gravity sphere takes effect. Will that work enough? We will find out next time, chat. Because unfortunately we do have to stop for the evening. I don't love to stop mid-combat most of the time, but this is a different situation. So, and we were getting back into it. Next time we will be well into it, and we'll have to see if they're able to defeat whatever the hell this thing is. I really wish Vicious Mockery had worked without being able to be seen. That would have been great.
That would have been
something
awesome.
inside being like, "Rawr," You're just assuming there's pilots. I mean, we don't know, But no, this was a lot of fun to get into, and I'm excited to see how the party deals with what happens next, as there's always balance between combat and other sorts of things. I'm going to zip through this quick because, again, I know we're over time, Zach. Good stuff today from Jiraxis. Some good moments, too. I was laughing at the concept of you trying to, find, the metal things, the piton, and, climbing the walls while everyone else is already, bailed out and is prepared to, head to the next place. You're like, I seem to have been deserted by my friends. That was funny. And also some interesting little discussions at the very beginning with the light orbs as well, that were fleeing from this now well-named, I think, metal demon. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, very interesting, strange cavern system we're in. And interesting that these people, these guys that took over Camria are down here mining for something too. So I have a feeling it won't be the last that we see of them in this arc of the story, but that'll be for next time. So people will find me next at the live performance of Hearthglow, the finale of Hearthglow, which is going to be live at the Sacred Heart University in Connecticut. That's on Saturday or Friday?
Friday, April 11th.
Friday. So you'll be able to check that out there. I don't know if there's any online support for that, or if it's going to be live streamed or even recorded.
Don't know myself that either. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know.
It would be great if it was, but otherwise you'll see us live there if you happen to be in the area. Of course, as always, check out Gen GM's, the GM podcast that Greg and I do, and you'll also see me on Critical Role in a couple weeks on April 15th for the one shot that I ran for Humblewood 2, which is coming out for Kickstarter. And that's about it on my own channel. And with that, I do have to zip out. It's still a fresh and cheery 7:49 p.m. over here on the West Coast, so I have to zip off somewhere. But great session, and can't wait for next time.
Are you able to just shut your camera off for the second?
I can just leave my camera
we'll close
on
it
for you
quick.
guys.
Thanks, Zach.
Great.
Talk soon. LaShawn, good stuff today as well from Raven, and some interesting work that's going to be done here with thinking about things like the Aegis, various protective barriers, things like that is going to be important as we go along. And again, not noticeable yet, but when you get onto the ship, assuming everyone survives and gets onto the ship, that you're headed towards, your spacefaring nature may be of assistance at that point too, along with Jiraxis. So, but otherwise, a lot of stuff: caverns, pitons, collapsing things that you fell into, pits and stuff like that. But you survived. You're still alive. You're still here. How'd you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I'm feeling still a little discombobulated, but that's because I'm still new with all this.
Yes.
But at the same time, figuring out where I fit in, and it's been fun. And trying to figure out, okay, how does my character figure things out, and how much does she get involved versus how much does she hold herself back? So it's something I'm still playing with and figuring out as we go along. But yeah, it's been fun, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she deals with what's happening with this fight.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
People can find me on Facebook. They can find me on Blue Sky, and I have a website called Cafe in the Woods, which I restarted. So basically that's where you can find me.
Good stuff. Thank you, LaShawn. Always a pleasure. Also a pleasure to have Toya with us today. Some good stuff that happened with discussions with the light. Obviously, some good moments, too, with the Cloud of Daggers. Very useful. Also was nice synergy with the Gravity Sphere from Jiraxis. So you had some good stuff there. And then I love the idea of the rope with Gamork, which, just do the Empire Strikes Back thing on Hoth, and seeing with Gamork can figure it out when you're doing these other things. So, but it will be interesting to see what happens, not only with this, but what happens when, especially because you're the only one who's seen these masks before specifically. And so I'm going to be interested to see how Nulls reacts to that later on. But how'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yes, as I told everyone, I am very much looking forward to looting these enemies and getting them masks.
Mhm.
Anyway, and whatever else they have on them. I am also interested to see if we see our orb buddies again. The lights that we talked to, because I can't believe they're just a one-off. Especially if we take care of the metal demon for them. But yeah, I really enjoyed this session. Everybody had really clever ideas for how to deal with these enemies, so that was a whole lot of fun. I'm going to be here, hopefully not dealing with any more nonsensical weather.
Yeah.
And also just a reminder that I am an editor and a consultant, so if you need editing or consulting done, or know anybody else who needs editing and consulting done, please hit me up.
Yes, can confirm, as I've said many times, Toya is awesome at what she does, so you should hit Toya up for all of the things. And I think we have a command for Toya, I believe, in the chat, but yes, definitely do that. Thank you, Toya. Good stuff today. Finally, Rhiannon, also good stuff from Sataria. As usual, the healing coming in clutch. I love the beginning. We're like, oh yeah, that's why we're doing this healing. It's kind of important. And then later on, because, it's things like getting crushed under big excavation devices. That's why we do this stuff. And then also the fact that you recognize some of these things as constructs. Figuring out what each of you are likely to know based of your own experience is something which is obviously a part of this adventure. So I'm excited to see more of that develop over time, assuming you're able to get past this massive globe thing creature. How did you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Well, I am most excited. Rhiannon is excited, not Sataria, because she doesn't know a damn thing.
Yes.
I'm curious if what Jiraxis found in the wall was obsidian or any other kind of mineral that I don't know rocks in general, but I do know toolstone. So I'm curious about it. And folks can find me. I'm on Blue Sky at Rhiannon Held. I am part of the Dungeon Scrawlers Twitch channel. The games that I'm in are not currently running, but I'm always hanging out on the Dungeon Scholars Discord. And this weekend, April 5th to 7th, I believe, or 8th, I am part of an indie book sale. So I've got a couple of books, one of my standalone urban fantasies, and then my collection of space opera novellas are on sale for really cheap among a lot of other cool books. I will put the link in the chat, but for anybody watching, it is indiebook.sale. They got a really good URL.
Nice.
So check that out and get lots of cool indie books.
Very cool. And yes, definitely please do put the link to the sale in there, and we will pass it along for sure. Thank you, Rhiannon, as always, and thank you to Toya and to LaShawn and to Zach as well. We will see these folks back here. I don't think we have another session this month. We really are trying to get back to 2 sessions a month. That's the goal, but we will get there eventually. It's been difficult with scheduling and everything, but we're back on the wagon. We're getting there, and we're making progress. So I'm excited for that. But thank you to these wonderful players as always. Players, I will see you next month. Chat, can we get some love for the wonderful crew of Rhiannon Held, Toy, Kristen Finley, LaShawn Wanick, and M. Wanick, and Zach Clay. Thank you, everybody. I will see you folks next month. Bye.
Night, everybody. Bye.
All right. That is going to do it for us for tonight. I'm sorry at the very end that I had to spend a little bit of time, but like I said, there's been dealing with family stuff here, so that had to take precedence at that time. But otherwise, we are making some serious progress. I really liked the sound of this cool thing. Just sort of the concept of it. And so it was pretty cool watching this, like very, very fun visually that this thing is here that they're having to deal with, and that it's a construct and they have to figure out how to get into it and, see what happens with gravity spheres and things like that. We will see. But that is stuff that is going to be for next session. For now, I'm going to head out of here, but I will be back on Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday morning, so earlier start time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, when I will be playing Beowulf Age of Heroes, the Tari Tunes. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, I will be over on GogCom's Twitch channel playing D&D with By the Dice Roll. So we'll be 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern and instead of the usual 4 to 7, playing more Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And then we'll be off Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be back at the normal time, 9 p.m. Eastern, with more Expeditions Rome, which I'm very excited to be continuing as well. And then we've got Eberron coming up and other things, but we'll worry about that later. And again, Friday the 11th, Sacred Heart University, Hearthglow. If you are in the Southern Connecticut area or the tri-state area and you can make it up to it, Friday, 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern at the Shine Auditorium at Sacred Heart University, Friday, April 11th. It's free to attend. It's free to park, but we would love to see you there. And please let us know if you're going to be coming and spread the word, and let's get a good turnout for that. That would be great. But that's going to do it for me. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. Please subscribe over there for me. Discord, !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Twitter, !ArvTweets. Blue Sky, !ArvSky. Website, arvanelleron.com, where you can find more details about that Hearthglow. Again, check out that Gen GM show, as Zach said. !ArvShop is the merchandise area, which supports the channel. !ArvTreon is right over there. Cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel. Please support us there. Subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. That really does good for us as well. Plus, you can get custom sub badges and emotes to use everywhere on Twitch, so please do that. On the publishing front, Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library, my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And Greyshade. Greyshade Renegade Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy, which is from Athos Arts. You can get that at that link right now. You can get the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks. And you can also pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade from our very own Brandon O'Brien, coming out from Alligator Alley. That will be released, again, I confirmed a day ago or so, that will definitely be released Gen Con this year. So that means August this year will be the official release date for Greyshade, the tabletop game. So I'm very excited about that. And as always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Thank you to my wonderful mods. Thank you to Prince Justin and Triffity Mats. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Prince Justin, Triffity Mats, Nonstop. Thank you to Artemisia Player, also known as Rhiannon Zach Clay, also known as Zach Clay, and Jagtris. Thank you so much to everyone who stopped in, both YouTube on this channel over the course of time, and a special thanks tonight to Alligator Alley, our sponsor of this campaign, and of course to Zach, to Toya, to Rhiannon, and to LaShawn for being awesome and a part of this campaign. That is going to do it for me. Thanks, everyone. Much love. I will see you folks on Tuesday at 10:30 for Beowulf Age of Heroes with Tari Tunes. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and everyone, please be good to each other. Have a good night.